the now and here. Gaming tales you need to hear. Laugh and shout and sometimes sneer. Memories from all those years. Console wars and secret tips. Tips and tricks from pixel trips. News that pours from gaming sips. Critical minds and candid lips. And Generation X gaming show. Tune in where the thoughts flow. Rant and rave with words that glow. Weekly stories make them go.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another week, another episode of Generation X Gaming, the weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories from the past week, and we rant along the way. I'm your host, 30 and Still Gaming, and joining me each and every single week is Sgt Mclusky. What's going on, bro?
Incredible.
I mean,
right? Saturday, Monday, Thursday.
Yeah, but not even
Saturday, Monday, Thursday.
Like each and every single week, we're like, I don't know if we're gonna. I don't know what we're gonna talk about. I don't know if there's anything to talk about.
Talking about. I know.
And then Microsoft's like,
I know what we're talking
hold
about.
on a second, guys. I gotta put some shit on this table, and there it is. It's like, if it's not Nintendo, it's Sony. If it's not Sony, it's Microsoft. It's not Microsoft. It's Blizzard. It's amazing. What's going on, chat?
We got some shit going on. I can't wait this time.
Well, those of you that don't know what Generation X Gaming is, like I just said a couple seconds ago, it's a weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories in the past week, and we rant along the way. If you're joining us over on, was it Twitch? We're on Twitch again for the third week in a row for Twitch. So if you're over on Twitch, hit that follow button. We do a podcast each and every single week on Thursdays, 8 p.m. Eastern, which is this podcast right here. You can watch the past broadcast over on YouTube or Spotify, Anchor.fm, iTunes, Google Play for podcast episodes. And I'm a little late loading last week's episode up on the podcast formats. That'll happen tomorrow. So, and then this one I'll be able to listen to the following week. So if you want to watch and be part of the live show, make sure you're here 8 p.m. on Thursday evenings. All right, Sarge. Let's, on today's show, we got quite a bit to talk about. We're going to be talking about Expedition 33. We're going to be talking about Towerborne. We're going to be talking about Nintendo taking away sharing away from people that's been there for 7 years. We're going to talk about Microsoft raising the prices of the console. It's been out there for 5 years, raising the price. Like the floodgates opened up. Nintendo said, we're charging $80. And everyone's like, thank you. And now everyone else is going to follow suit. We're going to talk about Ubisoft stealing your information. We got lots of different things here today. So hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. But let's get started with the what we've been playing, because we got a lot of stuff. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. So let's get to what we've been playing. All right, Sarge, another week. What you been playing this week?
I mean, the obvious Borderlands 3, which we finished.
We did finish, and let me tell you, it was like I said it last night when we were playing. I felt like I don't know, it was worse, not better, worse. The Black Garden final boss or the final boss in Borderlands 3.
I mean, I think the Black Garden boss was worse than this one. The Black Garden boss was pretty bad. I mean, first of all, I liked some of the humor in that last couple hours that we were playing, because I like how when we killed Troy, it made it like it was going to be to be continued, and I was getting real mad.
It said 4, and I was like, what? And then it said 3, 2.
Yeah. So when I saw that, I was like, if I have to wait a whole nother game to actually kill this bitch, I'm going to be really, really mad, right? And then it was just like a little countdown. So I appreciate the humor.
Well, it's funny because we played it 5 years later. And they just the same day we finished, just earlier that day, they showed Borderlands 4. So I was confused.
Didn't watch any of it. Yeah, but I didn't watch any of it.
Yeah, either did I.
Yeah, I haven't watched any of it. But you have to remember when we first did the last mission in Borderlands 2, it was difficult because we had to figure out you had to have the right weapons on you at the time. We didn't farm a bunch of weapons. It was just going through the game. Whatever you had, you brought your best guns in. So it took us a while to carry out the mechanics of the warrior. It actually had mechanics.
Right.
This one's mechanics was very strange. Like, I like the part where it's stunned and you have to go up behind her, but I'm not asking for glowy bits. But at the same time, it's like, what it says, go ahead and go for it. Like, I go ahead and go for it to shoot her, as opposed to there's an opened up weakness spot. There was no difference.
Yeah.
It was just this thing you had hit on the back of her neck, but nothing other like appeared or like looked like an opening. Or
well, no, it
like
did. You had to go around, and then her leg had these orange dots on it.
The orange dots are for you to know what leg to climb up on.
Yeah, to climb up on. And then there's just a spot up on top of her head. That's it.
Yeah. No. Then you punch the thing on top of her head, and then she says, go ahead and go for it. Like, I was already shooting at her before I punched her in the neck and the soft spot. So
right. You were shooting at her. She pauses. You have to hit the spot. Then you can hit her again.
There's no difference, right? I thought it was just weird how you went maybe through the whole mechanic, but there's not actually a difference of
it was
moving
weird.
around and whatnot. I mean, you had to move, a lot of moving around, a lot of lasers and things going on. The mechanics were a little strange.
Brainchild says the audio line tells you to go for the eye. Maybe we couldn't hear it because Travis was talking. I don't know.
Yeah, what eye? What eye? Like, she had an eye, the thing had an eye, but nothing was glowy. There's no glow bits. I didn't hear the audio, Brainchild. I mean, I believe you 100%, but when you were playing yesterday, I was like, oh, okay, climb up the leg, and then I went up there and hit her and whatnot. I mean, the second time through when you play on True Vault Hunter mode, it's harder anyway, so at least you probably...
Yeah.
This one, you could fall on your face and still win. You know, that's the difference. Right? Well, it wasn't like
Travis, am I lying? Am I lying? You constantly were talking. At any moment, I could be like, I couldn't hear the line because Travis was talking, right? Not falsified in any way, shape, or form. Just saying the truth.
Yeah. So Borderlands 3, and then I was playing Oblivion quite a bit over the week. And what I did notice is what I forgot about it, because once again I haven't played it in over 20 years, or close to 20 years, excuse me, is the fact that even though I spec'd out for strength, I want to be the knight character first because I want to mess around with magic. I just want to get back into the groove a little bit.
Right.
That you get over encumbered pretty quick. Right. That's the first thing. And the second thing is that when you're away from towns fighting things inside the Oblivion gates, your armor takes damage quite a bit very quickly. And you have to use the repair hammers to fix it. And so I guess I was in one of the harder Oblivion gates. Like, some of them were easy. You just right up to the tower. But like this one I found was like multiple levels of the mountain and having to go through the caves. And so before I even got to the tower, I had to repair like 5 or 6 times. And so by the time I got to the tower, I didn't have any more repair hammers, and my gear was just shattered. And so it's like, okay, so then I got to leave. What am I going to do? Beat him with a stick? Like, I can't.
Right.
I can't do anything. So I leave and I come back. And the good news, of course, when you leave and you come back, the guys that are still there are dead. They don't come back. So I thought that was kind of cool.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I just have to go back and repair, get some more hammers, and then come back. But I have to go through. I have to go.
Is it on a timer though?
I don't know. We'll
they might come back. I don't know.
Yeah. But I mean, there's so many games out, bro. I was looking at Game Pass, and
the Game Pass is winning big time right now for me. I mean, I played. I talking about what I have right now. I mean, I played Blueprints, and then I played Towerborne. I'm playing Expedition 33. I'm playing Oblivion. I'm playing South of Midnight. We tried within the last month. I have like 4 or 5 games that would have cost me what $300, right?
I mean, yeah. But there's the gaming stuff because of Nintendo. Dude, let's get into that. Talk about your games first because we need to get into this. It's gonna be a long couple hours.
All right. Well, the first game I played, I'll bring it up on screen while we're here, which is Expedition 33. Okay, this game is from 33 people. Okay, 33 people. I don't know if it's the reason they called it 33 and the story that they have, but there's 33 people that worked on this game. Okay, this game is phenomenal. If you like the old school, Final Fantasy type of stuff, and Final Fantasy kind of got boring after a while, this game is put it back on the map. And it's not Final Fantasy, but it's like Final Fantasy-esque type of stuff, right? They've taken the combat system, and you can't just hit a button and sit back and relax. Okay, there's dodge, there's parry. You got to pay attention. You got to know what.
Are you controlling all 3 characters?
You control all 3. Yeah. So when it's your turn, you can either jump and retaliate. You could parry. You could dodge. There's the action points where if I shoot, I use an action point, but if I use my regular attack, I gain an action point. So you're trying to stack action points. And then
for combos.
For combos and elemental damage and stuff like that. So it's very, very, very cool. It's quick, it's easy, but yet hard. The combat's very satisfying in this game. Very satisfying. I was playing Oblivion, right? I was playing Oblivion, and then I decided to stop Oblivion, put that on the back burner for just a second, okay? And I'm playing this game right now because the story on top of this, very, very down. Like it's like you're like, bro, like you're so sad. Like what happens if you don't? I'm not going to spoil anything for anybody. It's just like a what the F moment, right? And then you go into this world here and just the story that's happening, the characters, the cast of characters and stuff like that. It's got a little bit of humor and stuff into it. It's a really good story so far. I'm only about 8 hours in, so I haven't finished Act 1 or anything like that. People keep telling me it gets better and better as the acts go on. So this is a wonderfully done game. Now, I'm only 8 hours in, Sarge. Now, for the last couple weeks after we beat Split Fiction, I said that Split Fiction is my game of the year. This is climbing the charts for me right now. I still think Split Fiction is it just because of what Split Fiction has done.
Because it's pure, right? It's purity. It's purity of the game. That's why.
Yeah, but we got a game here, folks. This is a video game. This is a make a game, sell a game moment. Like I said, small studio, $50. If you wanted to buy this game, it's $50, and I think it's totally worth the $50 for the 8 hours that I've put into it, right? And I didn't pay the $50. I only got it on Game Pass. So, but yeah, visually you can find outfits and stuff in the game. So later in the game, I found like a French baguette. So my character's wearing. Here she is.
It's a baguette is bread, bro.
No, I know. I understand what a baguette is. I understand that. Okay. She's literally wearing a baguette on the back of her. Right. She's wearing a French cap and she's got a baguette in the.
It's an actual baguette.
It's a baguette, yeah.
She's wearing bread.
She's got a baguette in her back like a sword. Yeah. She doesn't use it as a sword. Yeah. Okay. So there's like outfits that you can find in the game. Right? Not a microtransaction, just something you find in the game, and you can change the outfits of whatnot. So there are little things that you find, like as I just did there, and they add to your abilities and whatnot that you can purchase and stuff down the line. You can do the offensive attack there when you see something, or they attack you. So you get first strike now because I attack them first. I get first strike.
Okay.
So, and then you can see the order on the left-hand side. Beautiful game so far. Beautiful game. I'm really enjoying this.
3 characters. 3 characters only.
I have 4. At the end of this, I got 4. So here
Is it 4 active characters?
It's 3 active characters, and if one dies, then you can put a replacement in.
Okay, so it's 3 active.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, at least for what I've known. It might change down the road, but it's 3 right now. Yeah.
I always like the idea of like
I'm fighting a mime here.
I'm trying to remember what game did it. I'm drawing a blank right now, but there was a game where you almost kind of like tag teamed, like almost like Street Fighter. Remember Street Fighter when you had two man teams? Yeah, and you do combos and you switch over to your second guy and come in. Like there was a game that did it like this, but you could tag team, you could call somebody else in. I think it was one of the Final Fantasies, but you could call in the backup guy to come in the middle of combat as opposed to building the party before you go into combat.
Yeah, so very cool. Dialogue, like the voice acting, supreme. The graphics, supreme. The gameplay, supreme. Like it's just good all around. So if you're looking for a game, obviously, I don't think anyone's looking for a game because there's so many games to play. You're looking to make time for a game. But if you have a chance to play this game and you like games like this is I think a must play for a lot of people. So that's the first game I was playing. Okay, I'm also playing RuneScape Dragon Wilds, which I talked about last week. We started a playthrough with Hilly, who is a viewer and also a friend. We're playing RuneScape on Tuesday afternoons now for about 2 hours a week. We're getting in and playing the game together, so that's fun. And then we're also playing this game right here, which is Towerborne. Okay,
This game reminds me of Guardian Heroes.
this game reminds me of D&D. It reminds me of Turtles in Time. It reminds me of so many different games from over the years.
Not Gunstar Heroes. I'm not getting myself confused. It's called.
It also Castle Crashers. Reminds me of Castle Crashers.
It was based off a comic or an animated short. I think it was. I can't remember which one it was, but it was on a Sega Saturn, and you could play 6 people, which I thought was very cool.
I know what you're talking about.
Right?
Yeah.
The story was based around the skeleton in golden armor. And the guys that followed them around were like defenders of like the old guard, and they call upon the help of past warriors, and the golden skeleton comes out of the ground and he becomes one of the party members. Right. And the cool thing about the game is the further into the game you went, the more guys you killed. You can go into a 12-man battle royale, and as long as you beat the enemy in the game, you can actually pick that character to use in the game in the battle royale. Cool. So I thought it was interesting because like we went through the whole game and beat it, so you could pick anybody. So we're picking like these giant guys on the screen, and everybody's got like different moves. So you're learning what the enemies can actually do by playing the enemy character. And the thing I think that sold the game back then especially was the music. If you type in Guardian Heroes soundtrack, you'll know right away that the soundtrack was like pumping for back in the day. I'm not sure what's the soundtrack for this game. Is it kind of upbeat?
It's good. It's all original. Yeah. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful soundtrack. This game's a lot of fun. It's just a beat 'em up brawler, right?
It looks really smooth though. Like compared to the old days of the beat 'em ups.
I love the animation style. The animation style is beautiful. Like the scenery in the background, the move sets. They changed this game up from when it came out. Now we played this back in September, late last year. I bought the early access for it on PC. It is now on preview program. Now, this is going to be a free-to-play game, okay? But right now, if you're a Game Pass member, they have it in the preview program. So if you're a Game Pass member, you get to play this. When it comes out, it'll be out for everybody. It's going to be a free-to-play game, okay? So there is battle passes, like a Helldivers type of system, where you do missions in the game. You unlock these, I think they're called rights, like a paper type of thing, and then you use that currency to purchase cosmetics only. So the thing I'm wearing right now is a mixed match of different cosmetic items, and the actual weapons themselves have had abilities, but they changed it. Have like stats on the actual gear itself, so you can look the way you want to look, but the stats and the gear looks a certain way if you want to use that gear as well. So there's no like pay to win mechanic or anything like that, right? This game's way more fun.
Did you make your character?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like me. Yeah.
I was going to say, so that's why I was asking. I'm like, that looks awfully like you.
Yeah, it's me. Right. But I couldn't use my actual gamer tag because you're not allowed to use numbers. So I had to. Am I glitching out, chat? It looks like I'm glitching out.
Your video of you is glitching out.
I'm doing like max headroom. What's going on there?
You're doing max headroom shit right now.
I'm doing like. This is interesting.
It's like an old Japanese movie. You're doing voice dub.
Here, I'm gonna. We'll see what happens here. Hold on, let me see. Stop camera, and then come back. Nope, still doing it. Fantastic.
Awesome.
Yeah. Okay.
Wouldn't be a show without it. Wouldn't be a show without it.
I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
Is chat seeing this? I guess chat is seeing this.
I don't know if chat's seeing it, but I'm seeing it.
Yeah, I don't know. You think we can do the whole show like this?
I mean, somebody's thinking they have an aneurysm.
I don't know what's happening. Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can reset. Maybe if I leave and come back.
Maybe if I just do this.
I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. If I hit leave studio, it might cancel the show. So here we are. I'm going to push the button. Let me see.
All right, go ahead. I'll just do this.
Okay. Are you sure you want to leave the studio? Yes. Leave studio.
Yeah.
Change you may not be saved. Leave.
What? Hi, everybody. How you doing? What's up, Mo? Welcome to the show. Yeah. So if you guys have never looked up that game, Guardian Heroes, or not Gunstar Heroes. Gunstar Heroes is that side scroller from the Sega games, but it's good. Great, it's a great game. Yeah, it is just me. How you doing? So basically, today's show is going to be about a lot of the price hikes of what's been going on. So we're going to get into this heavy. So basically, you guys should get your notes out because we're going to go through the whole Nintendo opening the gates of doom and starting off the price hikes for gaming, which I think is hilarious, by the way. Absolutely, yeah. Flop Nation, yeah. I think what's going to end up happening is a bunch of people are going to just stop buying games and just kind of hang out, and they're going to be like, we don't understand what's happening. Why isn't no one buying our $700 systems and our $80 games? Interesting. It's going to be interesting. All right, Eric Jones, welcome to the chat. Jay Breezy, welcome. Mo, I meant to ask you, the hashtags you come in with, is that from your song or that's what you came in with beforehand? Like, I always trying to figure out, you always say the same thing when you come in, but is it from the song?
Okay, I can't get my camera to work. My camera is just green now. You see this?
Well, it's not green to me. It's black.
Oh, well, it's green.
Before the song, okay. Hey, listen, man. The way things are going, I'm thinking, and this is just a sidebar. I'm not putting this in the big book of bull yet because I need to get some more research done. But I believe that if Marathon doesn't go well for Sony, I think Sony's gaming division's in trouble. I think that there's going to be a little bit of a restructuring, if you know what I mean, if Marathon doesn't do well. Because between Concord and Marathon, doesn't look good.
Okay, I gotta go get a camera. You're doing fine. You're doing fine. Keep talking.
Well, now it's green. What are you doing?
I have to get a new I have to get my backup camera. Give me a second.
Oh, backup camera it is. All right, so let's get into the little bit of the details. We saw Nintendo basically open up Pandora's box, and they did the $80 games, digital, or saying digital copies when we know really the digital and the physical are all the same on their blank cards. But what we need to discuss is, instead of blaming GTA 6, we now the blame is squarely on crazy Uncle Nintendo. Right? It's because of Nintendo that Microsoft is doing this. And now pretty much, if you know Microsoft's doing it, they're all going to do it. What my stance is that I have never before seen the pivot for the gaming industry to basically say, we have you can't go anywhere else, so we're going to charge you more and you're going to like it, because they're basically, let's be honest, there are no more physical games. They keep telling you that there are, but there's not, right? They're just CD keys that you're buying that basically you download the game and you're playing anyway. So my thing is, the ultimate greed that is happening right now, the overwhelming psychotic greed. So you want me to believe, and I'll just play devil's advocate for a moment, you want me to believe over the last 5 years, after you getting rid of the manuals, getting rid of the discs, getting rid of the boxes, making a digital-only game, and then selling me microtransactions, battle passes, season passes, and after all that, and basically almost doubling your profit margin since you got rid of all the physical apparatuses, and then you're going to say, we just can't make any money, we can't sustain, so now we have to raise everything up another 25%. Like, if you think I believe that, you guys are dreaming, right? So my thing is, I'm like a bear that stocked up for the winter and I'm ready to go hibernate. Like, I don't care. Like, the amount of games that I have around me between Steam and Game Pass and my backlog, okay, the number of games that I have, if Microsoft and Sony both want to jack everything up to $100 a game and $800 systems, you guys are welcome to it, right? I don't have to buy a game for quite a while, and I don't have to buy a system, right? And if my system should happen to break, I have a PC. So none of this matters to me. So I'm thinking that if anyone has half a brain and you want things to move in a better direction, stop buying everything and go do something else, right? Because the idea that gaming is all you have. You can't read, you can't go outside, you can't do anything physical. You're only going to be playing video games, so we have you, and now we're going to charge you all this kind of money. They're dreaming, right? I want to see a full tank, bro. I want to see it all crash, right? I want to see the second quarter numbers come out and be like, oh, we don't know what happened. We don't know how people are just not buying games for some reason. Oh, really? We're not buying games? I wonder why we're not buying games. Like, choices, people. We have choices, right? I know there's at least 4 people in this room right now who have a backlog of over 10 games. Like, you're over 10 game backlog, right? So do you believe that if you stopped buying video games, no matter what they showed you, what kind of pretty trailers they showed you, that you would be bored? That you'd be bored in like 6 months? Oh my God, I've got to buy something from Sony, or I've got to buy something from Microsoft. What will I do? Bro, they're out of their minds. They're literally out of their minds.
All right. So my camera is busted. Backup camera's not even turning on. So you get Circle logo tonight. That's what it is.
It's HAL 3000.
Yeah, HAL 2.0. Show must go on.
Yeah.
So what were you talking about, Sarge? You're talking about
I went right into the big story, which is Nintendo opening the floodgates and charging more money, and then Microsoft said, "That's it. We're going to use any excuse we can to just jack up the prices." So let's go over the reasons. We all know that tariffs is one of them. And then if you guys are too young to understand what tariffs are, that's cool. No one's going to make fun of you here. But we need to talk about it briefly. Okay? Just briefly, right? So tariffs is basically a tax on goods from another country. And the reason why you tax the goods is because if you sell the same type of good, that you want it to be fair, because if somehow you're able to create the item cheaper somewhere else, right? That what happens is that the tariff offsets the cost of what would cost for you to make the item here. So it's kind of like a little even Steven type of like valve, right? We'll just put an adjustment, right? So what they're saying now, and this is where everybody freaks out, right? Like, we're destroying our country. We're destroying our country by tariffs, right? Tariffs in the old days, prior to World War II, okay, we used to have tariffs on other countries when they brought shit over here.
They all have tariffs on us, by the way.
Hang on, I'm getting to that part, right? They put tariffs on it, and I want you to understand something. Back before World War II, there was no income tax because tariffs paid for everything. And so slowly over time, we after World War II, we were nice enough to, this is the best line ever, guys. After World War II, since most of the world was blown up, like their industrial capacity was destroyed, right? So in order for those countries to rebuild their economies, we said that if they brought goods to us, we would not tariff them. And if we gave them goods, we would pay the tariff. So basically, we were paying them to rebuild themselves over time. Well, we've been doing it for too long, right? We have been giving goods to other countries and paying tariffs and charging nobody to come in. And we've been doing it for so long that we destroyed our entire manufacturing of everything. We don't make anything here. We're just a bunch of people who move money around. We're HR directors or deli workers or construction workers, but we don't make anything, right? And so it's a problem. And so now the digital version of this, which I find hilarious, there are warehouses full of hardware, hard drives, gaming systems, controllers, whatever. They're here already, right? They didn't just come off the boat. They're here. Tariffs started like a week ago. It takes like 6 weeks for a boat to show up from China, people. It's not like they're just flying goods over. It still comes by boat, and there's no teleporters. So that being said, they decided May 1st, everything goes up. In order to combat what? What are we raising prices for? What do you think happened in 3 days that you're gouging us an additional 25% and then use the excuse it's tariffs? I wasn't born yesterday, bro. I wasn't born yesterday.
No, you weren't born yesterday?
So at this point, I laugh. And I'm like, okay, I'll look at it this way. So let's talk to somebody from Canada. Let's talk to somebody from Australia. Let's talk to somebody from England. I know some of the guys in the chat are from those areas, and they'll just let you know that it's much more expensive to buy a gaming system in their country. We've had it good for a long time, right? And now it's going to take a little bit of time for the adjustments to be made in order for our country not to get digged over, right? And so there's going to be a little price hike here and there. But rest assured, the free market system of America will work out, because if you, I know this sounds weird, guys. I know you think there's a bunch of brokies living in this country. We're all broke right now, right? The country's broke, right? If you don't buy something and they have a warehouse full of it, the price comes down. I'm not sure you guys understand how that works. So if the price of an Xbox goes up $100 and everyone's wigging out and pulling their hair out, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Like, you just don't buy it, right? And then eventually you'll see a sale everywhere, 25% off, 30% off, like, because nobody wants hardware sitting on the shelf, especially a vendor. Well, nobody wants anything on the shelf. The goal of a box store is to move product, move it. Right?
Here's what's funny though.
If you believe it's supposed to be in the store to make the store look cool, no, they want that shit out.
Okay,
out.
I literally just went to Costco the other day, right? There's a pallet of PlayStation consoles. You know, they have those little sleeves that they have them in, like the cardboard things. Nintendo and Xbox. Those are in the country. Those are here already. They don't need to be tariffed on top of that. No. If I went 2 days ago and bought Xbox, it would have been $500.
Yeah.
But if I go today, it's $600.
One day,
right?
Just like that.
$600, right? And it's just funny to me. And Xbox right now, right? And well, Nintendo opened the floodgates, like you said, right? I said it when they came out. I said $80 video games. I said everyone was waiting for Grand Theft Auto to hit with the $100 video game, but they got leapfrogged with the $80, $90 video game from Nintendo, and everyone's like, well, that's all we needed.
That's it.
Right? The dam broke open. Everyone's like, oh, yeah, we just need to make more money because the costs are too high. And I said this in Discord earlier, right? Before it was just $60. Before it was just $60 video game, and that was it, right? $60 video game. There was no service. It was just the $60 video game. Unfinished, finished, whatever it was, it put it on a disc, they put it out to you, $60 cartridge. Now it's 80, 90, 100, 120, like, broken, buggy, unfinished, microtransaction, bit by bit, season pass, battle pass, and a live service game where you're paying a monthly fee.
And they can't stay open. They're laying off people. Like, you want me to, I don't understand how you want me to believe. How do you want me to believe that you basically almost, I want to say 2.5 times your profit margin on a video game, right? You got rid of all the physical aspects on it, and you're still telling me that it's not possible to stay open. Who is running the show at these companies? How is it that the greatest age of gaming, where games were sold for $50 in a box with a manual on a shelf, that was being stolen, being stolen by Game Pass, who kids would buy the game, sell it to Game Pass, and then Game Pass would...
You mean GameStop, GameStop, not Game Pass.
Sorry, GameStop. Yeah. My bad. GameStop would resell the game 10 times over. And during that 20-year period, gaming flourished. And the greatest companies in the world were raised in development. But for some reason, when we get rid of all the physical products, have a 200% markup, and it's all profit, we can't stay open. And you want me to believe that? And that motherfucker Parsons is going to show up with a new fucking Batmobile or something, and I'm going to lose my shit, bro. I'm going to lose it. There's no fucking way. There's no fucking way that because of the standard inflation problem that we've had over the last 8 years, that the profit margins of games are so thin that we have to bury people in increases in order to float. But they're still laying off people.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
Yeah. Wait for it, because now that Xbox, first it was Nintendo. Now Xbox is going to take their first party games. They're making those $80, right? First party games are going to be $80. Okay. Obviously, why? because
they can.
Well,
You don't
the
have
value
a choice.
the value goes, oh, well, why am I going to pay $80 for Starfield when I can
see
get
this,
Game
bro?
Pass?
Look,
Why am I going to pay $80 for Fable when I can get Game Pass?
Bro, it's very simple. If we get rid of the box stores, if there's nobody selling physical discs, right? If there's nobody selling discs, there are no choices. You're pre-ordering stuff digitally. Your brain is broke. I'm pre-ordering stuff that's digital. It's not going anywhere, right? I don't have a choice. If they tell you the game is $90, then the game is $90 because you can't go someplace else. There's no box store that says, hey, this game is $90. You know, if we charge an extra nickel on shampoo, we can sell that game for $45 and get a bunch of people in the store to buy a video game here at Target or Walmart or wherever. Those days are done. If they tell you the game is $90, that's it. The game's $90. So either you buy it or you wait.
Right.
And I got news for you.
Well,
I'm not in a hurry.
right.
I don't care.
I got plenty
I'll
of
just
stuff.
wait.
I got plenty of stuff.
I got
Even if I cancel,
I got at least 25 games on Steam I haven't even looked at yet.
right,
What do you
even if I
think I'm doing?
cancel my Game Pass, right, and didn't play Game Pass, I
Damn
got so
right,
many
bro,
games.
Phil.
I have so many games to play that I don't need to
Absolutely.
buy. I don't need to buy a new game, right? So I think it's funny because look, all of this that's happening right now. I said this during my earlier show. I said this when Nintendo raised the price, and I said this before they even raised the price. And I said if Grand Theft Auto comes out and everyone's talking about the $80 video game, the $100 video game, I said Microsoft is sitting back, rubbing their hands together, going,
That's it.
please
Please.
let the $80, $90, $100 video game happen.
Yes.
Because the higher the prices get and the console price goes up and the controller price goes up, they're like, well, that service, what's that service? $20? And don't get it misconstrued here, because Nintendo is also getting rid of the shared program, okay? They're getting rid of the shared program that was there for 7 years on the Switch, where if I own a game and we have two Switches in the same house, I can share it with you and you can play the game simultaneously with me, okay? Like Mario, whatever, okay? You have the game, I have the game, we're playing, we only have one copy. Now, you need two copies, okay? You better believe that Microsoft is looking at this going, wait a minute, because there was talks about the family plan back years ago. Okay, and I said, if they call it that family plan, right now I share Game Pass with my son. Okay?
Not for long.
Not for long.
Not for
right?
long.
They're looking at this going, how can we get more people to come to Game Pass? Well, let's increase the price of the consoles. 2, let's increase the price of the games.
That's literally
okay?
kicking people into the hallway. You're
That's
not even
correct.
asking people to leave the room.
That's right.
When you raise a console, it's not $20 increase. It's $100 increase.
$100 increase for the Xbox Series
$100
X.
increase on a console means I just kicked your ass into the hallway. Like, get in there.
Yeah. Right?
Get in there.
Then,
like, I don't want to be on Game Pass. Get in there.
Right. And then once they have you in Game Pass, they have you digitally in there, right? And that's it. Okay. And if you don't want to be on Game Pass, well, then you can't. You're going to buy $80 games. You're going to buy $80 games. And here's the best part,
That's
Sarge.
correct.
They raised the controller price as well to $80. Okay.
Oh, did you? I already told you, right? I already had bought like 2 or 3 controllers on sale.
Yeah, I bought extras a couple months ago.
Yeah, so I've got three brand new controllers in a box just sitting in the corner there.
Yeah.
So
I got them for like $40 a piece.
Good. I'm good for at least like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah. So now you got to pay more money for the controller. And I thought about this earlier today. I was like, oh, this is genius.
Yeah.
Because if they're not going to buy the console because the console's too expensive,
Everything's an Xbox, bro.
and everything's an Xbox,
Everything's Xbox.
and they lose money. They lose money off the consoles. 3 years ago, they came out and said they lost $200 for the Xbox Series X, and it was like $100 and something for the Xbox Series S.
Losing $100, bro.
Right, now they're only losing $100 because they pushed it up $100. Okay,
correct.
and the controllers go up in price, and everyone needs at least a controller to operate the games on their Samsung TV, their iPhone, their tablet, their
now all you have
laptop,
to
their
do-
PC.
So now all you have to do is make the controller cheaper, and it breaks easier. And
Yep.
if they buy 2 controllers a year, they're basically buying a new system.
Even
every 2
even
years.
if they buy one a year for 5 years,
Yeah, that's another system.
okay, that's what that's $240.
Yeah, they don't care.
That's $300. That's a system right there. Just buying
That's correct.
shitty cheap controllers.
That's correct. Well, hopefully, all right. I'm not saying I want to start a war here. Hopefully, there's at least 2 or 3 people in the country here that know how to make a controller, and we'll just make them here. Right.
Right.
If I'm gonna be paying that kind of money for a controller, I'm pretty sure I can make it here in Tennessee for $1.50. All right, or $80 for the not the super one, but the normal one. You know, I'm pretty sure we can get it down in price. But rest assured, right? Everybody's had it. too good for too long. And the reason why the country's broke is because there's no middle class. Okay? There's just the elites and the rest of us, right? If you take out manufacturing, there's no middle class, right? Nobody builds anything, nobody cares about anything, nobody's vested in anything. If you think I'm going to be vested in video games, like I would be vested in like a career, you're out of your mind. I'll find something else to do, right? I can't wait to see what happens by Christmas. I can't wait to see who actually buys games and who doesn't, and to see if they sign up for the service or not. I can't wait.
Yeah. Well, what do you think is going to happen? I think in a couple of weeks, Sarge, we hear PlayStation raise the prices now.
Bro, it doesn't matter, right? They can listen. They can do whatever they want. They're basically what's happening right now, and don't think for a moment that this is not the truth, right? When you raise something up $100, okay, to make up for something that hasn't even gotten to the country yet, like you could have said we're raising. Listen, very easily, Microsoft could have said, "Listen, tariffs are coming into play, right? By the end of summer, beginning of August, end of August, beginning of September, the prices are going to go up. This is what the prices are going to go up to, right? You could have gave us that leeway, right? You could have said between now and September, we're staying the same price, but by that date, they're going to go up because of the tariffs and everything else that's going on. You could have said a speech. You could have came on real nice. You could have put like little video game lights on. The guy could come out in the suit, tell us about the hard times of the economy and the great time for gaming, and make it a whole spectacle, right? And say September 1st, we're going to have problems, right? So the prices are going up. It would have been like, okay, we understand. They didn't do that. They went brick through the window, right? Right?
Yeah.
Nintendo raises the prices. 3 weeks later, they go, sorry, $100 this, $80 this. Like no warning, no nothing else. They want to stress test you to see the reaction on whether or not you'll stay in the system or pivot, right? If you're going to pivot, that means you're going to get a service. If you don't pivot, they're going to see if you purchase. And if you don't purchase, they're going to just wait you out.
That's it.
This doesn't sell anywhere.
Yep.
Right? Nobody is buying an $800 system, right?
Well, the best part is this is not even a new system. This is the same system.
That's right. That's what I'm saying.
Right. Back in old days, Sarge, when a system's been out for 5 years, they lower the price and then bring a new console like the Pro in. Right, higher price, lower price. PlayStation brought a new system in. They didn't lower the price. They actually raised their prices in certain countries for their consoles.
You're not going to see the increase for Game Pass until months down the road. If this caused Game Pass numbers to go up,
they probably won't raise it this year because they raised it last.
No. I'm not talking about raising the price for Game Pass.
Oh, I see.
It's a number of subscriptions.
You're talking about the number. Yeah,
you won't know whether or not the subscriptions went up or not until like at the end of the year. We won't see those numbers at all. But I'm just saying, brick through the window, man. Right?
Yeah, it's so stupid because, look, listen to this. What strategy? Think about this. If you're in the corporate office of Microsoft, they're like, hey, what's our sales for our consoles? They're like, well, they haven't been moving. We sold 2,000 units in the last 6 months. They're like, all right, well, how do you think we should get more sales for consoles? Yeah, go ahead, Tim. What about if we raise the price by $100? That's genius, Tim. Let's do that. So no one's buying consoles now, so let's raise it up $100 5 years into the console cycle. And then let's blame it on the tariffs, which is just so fucking... Look, I said the exact same thing for MetaQuest last year when it was $300, and then they raised it to $400 from Monday to Tuesday, just because they're like, we're raising the price. Why? Because they can.
Right, because they can.
There was no tariffs back then.
The free market is the free market. They're allowed to charge whatever they want. All I'm saying is, as an educated gamer, somebody who's been in gaming for quite a while, not somebody who's all googly-eyed because of Fortnite, that they just started getting into gaming. They have no idea. I'm talking about people who've been around long enough to know how things were, how much games were, how fast they've gone up in price over a short period of time. If you think that you have to have these games day one, the broken game, the buggy game, the unfinished game, and now you have a price increase, like, tell me the reason why I need it.
Right.
Why,
you don't need it.
I don't need it. Like, more people were playing video games because it was more accessible, right? cell phones especially, once we got the smartphones and you could start playing actual games on the cell phone, it attracted an entirely different group of people who never played video games, right? First, you got them on the PC with the Farmville and all that other nonsense, that bullshit shit, right? Then once the smartphones could have those timers and you have to invest in this for a couple weeks or call your friends up and then the Candy Crushes and the Clash of Clans started, bro. You don't mean dick, right? Think about what Microsoft has done, okay, between Clash of Clans, Candy Crush, and Monopoly Go, okay? Look up the numbers and tell me they can't charge whatever the fuck they want for that system.
Yeah.
They can tell you right now that the Series X is going to be $1,000. And you go like, are you out of your mind? And like, yep, that's what it is. It's $1,000. Like, they don't care.
Right.
They don't care. They're making $3 billion, $4 billion a month between those games alone. They don't care. They don't care. Getting into the ecosystem is the name of the game.
The best part is they had a high of like their quarter revenue is up, right? The revenue is up.
Oh shit.
And yet now they have to raise prices and people are like, well, we just been living too good. We've been living too good. Gaming is just too good right now, and they had to raise the prices. Stop. They're literally hiring developers to come in and make skins and then fire them afterwards just to sell that skin 1 million times over for $25 a pop. Right?
I'll just put myself in this boat so nobody else in the room gets offended, because I know some people get offended when we talk like this, but I'll just put myself in the room. I'm talking about myself, right? I'm a console player. I've been a console player for most of my life. Right, I didn't get into PCs until maybe about 20 years ago. Right, maybe 15
well, we
years
were
ago.
PC, then we went to console.
Yeah, we had PCs, but not gaming PCs. Right, the difference. Right, so they don't care about me. They don't care I own a console. They don't care I own 4 consoles. All they care about is that I have Game Pass. Right, they care that I'm getting that reoccurring money, and I barrage you with sales and enticements for what you can get on discount through our service. They don't care. This is not about selling hardware, right? Do you realize if the profit, they would rather sell you something that has a 50 to 80% profit margin than to make an actual physical item and the profit margin's 5 to 8%, right? It's common business practice. If they didn't have to sell you a controller and you could just use your phone and your fingers, they would. They would, right? They don't want to make something that costs them money that interferes with their profit margin. Game Pass doesn't interfere with anything. There's a bunch of shit on there. This is before, not now. There's a bunch of shit on there. We're trying to entice you, right? But you have to build the machine up. Right? You keep saying we're going to put new things on there. Don't worry. We're going to put new things on there. Don't worry. And the guys in this room right now will yell at me, Game Pass ain't shit. Game Pass was this and Game Pass was that. There's a bunch of garbage on there. You're correct. A bunch of garbage was on there. For 4 years, a bunch of garbage was on there. Right? But here's how I get you to join the team without you joining the team. Ready? Xbox Live, Game Pass. Oh, I'm sorry. There's no more Xbox Live. There's just Game Pass.
Right.
Okay, so if I want to play games online, I have to have Game Pass then, right?
Yep.
Oh, I didn't want Game Pass. No, you don't have Game Pass.
They still sell Gold, but they convert it into Core.
You don't have Game Pass, bro. You have Xbox Live Gold. Don't worry. Okay, cool. I don't want Game Pass. Okay, cool. Right? Then you start releasing new titles like Starfield and these other games you want to play, and you keep putting them on Game Pass. And for some reason, you log on to your Xbox, and it's on the title screen because you don't pay attention what's what, and you're like, oh, this looks cool. What's this? Oh, I get to play this? That's interesting. Why do I get to play this? I don't have Game Pass, right? I just pay for online. Sure, buddy. That's right. You just pay for online. So by merging the two, instantly all those people are on Game Pass. So if you own an Xbox,
well, they're online. They're paying for a service, right? But they're not in the tier where they get the day and date. They have to level up to the day and date.
Still get games in Game Pass.
Correct. You get like 25 games of the core.
Matter.
Yeah. And then they're starting to take other games that were day and date, and they're putting them on the lower levels because they want people to get their mouth wet.
My belief is that I think they're really close to a stable cloud gaming. Really close. I think at this point, they're probably looking to put up data centers places to maintain stability. But I think that this is like the this is the turning of the corner of like the third phase. We're almost to the fourth phase. We're like
cloud gaming, baby.
It's gonna be cloud gaming, period. But
Yeah.
it have to be stable enough. So this is where we are, right? Box stores don't sell games. They name the price. It's their product. No middleman. No choice. So now you have no choice or Game Pass or pick your poison. You want EA Play or your Sony thing? Whichever one. I say Game Pass because that's the one I'm involved in, but you can pick whatever one you want, right? All I know is that if the game continuously comes out broke, buggy, and unfinished, I'm not giving you $80, right? I wouldn't give you $50, but I'm certainly not going to give you $80.
I can't wait. I can't wait for EA to make the announcement where they're like, well, Madden's $80 now.
You kiss my ass.
The new Madden's going to be $80, right? And then Ubisoft's going to raise their prices for their games, right? Because now the dam is broke, and everyone's like, all right. I say within the next month, PlayStation says they have to raise their prices as well.
The Rift is going to be, the big boys are going to suffer because smart gamers are not going to buy that shit. They'll just wait, right? Even if I don't have Game Pass, right? Even if I don't have it, I don't play online with my console. I have a PC, right? Let's forget about the consoles, right? Even if I just have a PC and the game comes out and it's $80 or $90, and I'm like, yeah, that's cool. I'll wait, right?
Yep.
Steam sale, Christmas sale, summer sale, spring sale, whatever sale comes on, right? The price will go down. Let's say it goes down to like, I don't know, $63, $68. And you're like, well, it's only $8 more than I would have paid for it. Like, I'll get it for $68. I'm not going to get it for $80.
It's not worldwide, John. It was 8 countries. It was just 8 countries. I don't know if you know this. There's a lot more than 8 countries in the world. So it was only 8 countries. It was like South America. It was UK. It was Australia. But they're going to raise the price. See, a lot of people are not talking about it because they didn't raise the price in the United States. But
other countries
I guarantee you, they will raise the price.
Other countries are where's our England guy? Where's our Australian guy? They'll tell you they're getting beat up, or their prices are high, bro.
Yeah.
Gaming's not a just, hey, we're getting a cheeseburger today. Gaming's like, you got to be serious. Like, you better hand me over $300. You want to play a game,
right?
Like $300. Yeah, you got a controller, system, game, gotta be online. Like, you can't just be wandering around saying, hey, I feel like playing something today. But if everything's an Xbox and I can just get a service, well, then I guess I'm in then, aren't I?
John, I didn't call you retarded, but saying a statement like this and then coming back in when I say, I don't know if you know, there's more than 8 countries in the world, saying that I said I know you're not retarded, and then telling me when you were born. I don't care about any of that stuff. I'm just telling you that PlayStation raised the price in only a small amount of countries, and they're going to raise it for the rest of the world within the next month, is what I'm saying. I'm saying that they're going to raise the price of all their games with everybody else for their first-party title games. The difference is there are no first-party title games coming for PlayStation in the near future, right? The next one that's coming up that's first-party is Marathon, but that's not even first-party because that's a live service game, so that's coming out everywhere, and that's going to be a $40 to $50 video game. And
I got news for you. I don't think the term first-party is even going to mean anything anymore, right? I don't care if it's a studio owned by Sony or if it's a studio that works for Sony. I don't care. To me, there's no such thing as first party or third party. There's just a development team working on a game, right?
Yeah.
Because you want to start putting people into categories and these games into categories, because then that gives you free reign to say, well, this game is worth more than this game, right? Right? And that's not how it should be at all. What it should be is, there's the game, you set a price for it, and we decide if we want to buy it or not. That's it. That's it. I don't care that it's a Sony studio. I don't care that Xbox owns Bethesda and it's Elder Scrolls, so it should be a $90 game. But if it was a third-party game, it's only $75. Like, I don't want to hear this nonsense.
Well,
right? The segregation of pricing in a game has got to do with the consumer and them only. Like, if you want me to pay for a game, then you better prove to me that the game is worth that, right? And in today's market, you have to prove it to me before I pre-order. I want to see the game. I want to see it played. I want to see it online. I want to see everything. Because if you think I'm giving you $90 up front because it's a first-party title, you're out of your fucking mind.
Well, here's the thing, right? So Krebsy said earlier about $50 games and $80, $100 games, and the 3 games this year that came out already is Split Fiction, $50, and not only is it $50, buy it once, share it with a friend. Okay, buy it once and share it with a friend. Meaning I could share it with you, Sarge, and then I could share it with Krebsy if I want to play with Krebsy, and then I could share it with John if I want to play with John, right? Buy it once, get it twice, basically, okay? Then there's Expedition 33, $50. And Expedition 33 gave a discount if you pre-ordered, and they took 10% off of their game if you pre-ordered their game, okay, for a certain period of time. I think it was like the first couple days, okay? Then we have Oblivion. It's a remaster, completely remade, okay? That's a gigantic game, right? And they're giving that for $50, right? So these are 3 games early this year have come out for $50, and yet everyone's saying, well, they need to charge $80. They need to charge $80. They need to charge more money for these games. It's just, I don't understand the people that defend this for corporations. It's like they come to their birthday party. They write a letter to Dear Phil, Dear Sony, can you come to my birthday party this year? I love you.
It's consumer versus corpo, bro. I don't side with the company.
Yeah.
I look for deals, quality, and fun. Right? Those are my 3 top things: deals, quality, and fun. If you meet the criteria, you'll be in my library. If not, I don't give a shit. Right? The world has got other stuff going on. I don't need $700 consoles and $100 games in order for me to be happy. Right? I got plenty of shit going on, bro. I want to see what happens. I want to see the price drops. I want to see what happens when they believe that we're going to just hand over $100 for a video game and it's going to be normal. I doubt it. I doubt it. We got people right now freaking out because they owe their student loans back. They can't even afford the house that they're living in right now, and they're going to get their check garnished for student loans. Like, you think people got a C note rotting around waiting for a fucking Nintendo game or a PlayStation game? You guys are dreaming.
Right.
You guys are dreaming. You better you better find out if your blood is rare and start donating.
Cody says our budgets are high. Meanwhile, Expedition 33, Helldivers, Split Fiction, etc. Pal World, right? Pal World. Don't forget about Pal World, right? All the major hit games that came out, they were all games that were under $50.
I'll put a little secret out there for you. I know I don't want to get political, but this is a true statement. I'm just gonna put it out there, right? Okay, so for those of you who are a little too much on the worst side of being brokey, just saying, I'm not naming names, right? I could be in that category. I'm just saying this. I do know, because of the craziness that we've gone through in the last 8 years, I do know that if you didn't get the jab, I know that people want your blood and semen, and they pay top, and they pay top,
and they pay top dollar,
top dollar for somebody who's not been vaccinated. So you might want to check your local hospital or local donation area and see what you can get, because I'm pretty sure you can get some cash. Okay, right? And if you think I'm joking, type it in and look at it. Right? The last one I saw, and I'm in Florida, the last one I saw was $3K. That's the last one I saw. So, yeah.
So 100% it is greed.
If 100% greed. Come on, Aldini.
Yeah,
1,000% greed.
There's no doubt in my mind. And if anyone comes out and says the corporations, well, they got to pay the devs. You mean the devs that they're laying go?
They're laying off? Like you don't want
the 300-400 people that they're laying go? Those guys? You mean the 100 people that are getting laid off? You mean the guy who got hired to make a skin for a game, and then when he was done with it, they let him go? You mean those guys? Right? It's so ridiculous. And there's people that sit out there, yeah, we were living too good. We're living too good. What are you talking about? In no other industry do we talk this way. No other industry. There's people protesting about eggs going up in price, and people are like, yeah, video games, man, it's just hard. It's just what it is. If you don't like it, you're broke.
You're brokey.
Yeah. This is luxury. It's not luxury, man. Gaming
who are you?
Right.
Like, who are you?
Gaming is the lowest pace of entertainment there was. You could literally go on Steam right now and buy a game for like $5.
Yeah. All of a sudden, video games became elitism, right? Before it used to be anybody could play it. Just the nerds used to play it, though. But anybody could play it, but no one liked it. We don't like it. You're fucking nerds. Why are you playing it? Meanwhile, Candy Crush and Monopoly Go for $3 billion a month. But I'm the nerd. I'm the nerd. $3 billion a month. Hey, did you make your mortgage payment?
It's so ridiculous, right? And here's the best part, right? So Nintendo sold out, right? Let me bring this article up, Sarge, right? So they delayed in multiple countries. The scalpers got most of the bundles, right? They got most of the bundles. So they have this now where Nintendo's Switch 2 reportedly hit with big delay in multiple countries. Now, Nintendo, I don't know if you know this, does this all the time where they say that, they sold out, they can't get them in stock, and then they, the scalping end starts to go up in price. There was prices for, no one's buying this, by the way, but $5,000 for a bundle. $5,000 for a bundle on eBay for Nintendo Switch.
Bro,
Okay,
did you
Switch 2.
Did you see the ones I sent you? Did you see the scalper thing for Nintendo? I sent you those. The Switch ones.
Yeah, they're ridiculous.
Yeah.
4,500, 5,000, $3 grand. Yeah.
Like,
right?
what are you guys talking about?
Right. So now they're okay. So it says the launch of Nintendo Switch 2 has been delayed in multiple countries across Central America, Caribbean. Nintendo's new console has been in high demand around the world. Yeah. You know why it's in high demand? They didn't make enough on purpose, or they made them and they just hold them back and go, yeah, sorry. Yeah. Right. Make the problem, sell the solution, right? This is what they do. This is what they've always done. Nintendo has always done this, okay? Because you make the false demand. Oh my God, I can't get hands on it. I gotta get in there, right?
I gotta have it.
I gotta have it.
Timmy wants a Switch. Thank God Dad's an investment banker. $5K? You got it, son.
Yeah. While the Switch 2 launch day has remained unchanged, most parts of the world, some territories will have to wait a while longer, and then others with the newest piece of Nintendo hardware to arrive near the beginning of April. Okay, so now everyone marks their calendars for May or June when a shipment's coming in, and then you have to wait outside and camp. Did you see it? Did you hear about the clusterfuck that was happening at the pre-orders for GameStop? They told people to come in at 11 o'clock. People showed up like hours before. Okay, 11 o'clock came, nothing happened. GameStops wouldn't open. Okay. Then they said, we're opening the doors at noon. Okay. There's lines wrapped around the buildings. Okay. There's like hundreds of what?
When was this?
Recently for the pre-orders, right?
Recently.
Yeah. Just when they do the pre-orders, a couple, like last week or whatever it was. Okay. There's like 100 people around the block to get into GameStops across the place to try to get a pre-order of this. Okay. Each GameStop had maybe 40. But there's 60 people in line, right? And then people are buying 2, and people are buying, like, it was, people were camping out. Like, they do this on purpose, right? Now it's out. Now it's there's not enough to go around. So now there's that buzz going on. Oh my God, I got to get my hand. Mind you, the bundle's done. So they couldn't get their hand on the bundle. So they bought the Mario Kart for $80 instead of $50 because the real price should be $50, but they paid for $80. So imagine, let's make the bundle. They'll sell like hotcakes, but let's not make enough bundles. Let's get people that want to get a bundle. But then when you're in line to get a bundle and they're out of a bundle, you're like, well, I'm already here, so I might as well buy the non-bundle version and the $80 video game. It's such a fucking tactic, man. I swear to God. Yes. NVIDIA did this with their video cards years ago and it got busted. They had a third party buy the actual video cards and then sold them on a third-party site, okay? And then they found out that NVIDIA was actually doing it themselves to raise the price, even though they gave the price. They said, it's a $600 video card, but then they sold it for double the price off the black market or whatever, right?
Yeah, but no one remembers
Corporations
that, right?
love you.
Yeah. They're all on your side, kids. They're all on your side.
So it's just ridiculous.
Pet the corpo monkey. Pet him. Feed him the banana, right?
Oh, the video cards had to go up. Okay. Had to go up.
I can't wait to see what happens, bro. I can't wait to see what the middle ground market's going to do. I know the hardcore people are going to buy it no matter what. I get it. I get the hardcore guys with the super powered PCs and they have consoles, 2 or 3 consoles. Like I get it. They're going to get it no matter what. But I'm talking about the middle ground, bro. Right? I don't believe nobody will be anywhere near selling 150 million units. No way. Yeah. Nowhere near it.
Here's another dumb thing here. Here you go. Assassin's Creed that just came out. That one that's selling billions of copies. And
it's an amazing game.
It's an amazing game, right?
Amazing.
I don't know if it's amazing or not. I didn't play it, but I know what they're trying to sell, and it's bullshit. Okay, so Assassin's Creed Shadows post-launch roadmap features regular new story missions, parkour update, and new game plus. Okay, so regular content. Let me read some of this regular content for you, Sarge, because when you buy a game for $80, $90, $100, $120, or $18 on Ubisoft Plus. Okay, this is the stuff that's coming in the regular content, which is story drops. Okay, they could add new stories, which is fine. New difficulty settings. Ooh. A photo mode update. Okay.
That sounds
New Game Plus. Got some community feedback. Oh, wow. Okay. Special collaborations. You got parkour updates, specific feature updates, codex updates, and store drops. These all sound like things that should have been in the game
from the beginning.
Day one. Day one. Right. And then we have the expansion. Right. The expansion, which is 10 plus hours, new items in the exchange, new rewards, and new projects. Okay. So people that paid full price for this game and then just waiting for the game to be complete, right? Just like all the other games that came out before this one.
Yeah.
Pay full price. Now, here's the thing I don't even have on...
Pay now, wait later.
Yeah, I don't have this on the stream tonight, but Outlaws. Star Wars Outlaws was on sale the other day. Okay.
How much?
With all the expansions, the 2 expansions that came out, okay, $26.
All right, so when did the game come out?
It came out in August. Was it September?
So it's less than a year.
Yeah, it was like 7 months, 8 months.
So less than a year, I can get the full game.
Full game with the DLCs.
With the DLCs.
$26. That's right, $26.
Is there a reason why you guys want to pay full price? I'm curious. Is it something in the water at school or the milk you used to drink in classrooms? Or maybe it's the kind of peanut butter jelly your mom made you when you went to school that you believe that paying full price for a game makes you better than somebody else? I'm trying to figure it out. I really am. I want to know. I want to know in every aspect of your life. Are you running around screaming at people? Don't give it to me on sale. I want to pay full price for it. Or do you only do it for video games? Is that the only thing you do it for? Or are you paying full price for shoes?
I did that this morning, Sarge. I did that this morning. I went to the local grocery store. I walked in and they had a case of strawberries right in front of me. And it said 3 for $10. I picked up 3 of them and I went to the counter and said, I would like to pay full price for each of these. Right? No, I didn't do that. I don't
want to pay 3 for $10. The farmers might be fired.
I want to pay full price for these, right? Yeah, like it's ridiculous.
Let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of this live once and for all. Okay, it doesn't matter what you give the company. The devs were already paid to make that game.
That's correct.
The game that came out last week,
called a salary,
right? They get a paycheck every 2 weeks or every week if you work at a good company. Every 2 weeks, you get paid. They got paid to make that game, whether they were working on it for 6 years, 2 years, whatever. They were paid. The amount of money you're giving corpos is the amount of money that they're asking for to replace what they paid out toward the devs.
Right.
Right. So if you want better games, you have to not buy something. And then they want to know why you didn't buy it. And then they improve the game. If you buy any trash that comes out the door, then that's all you will continue to get is straight up trash because they know you want it.
Right. So then we have the narratives being busted here because Expedition 33, again, small studio, okay? And obviously they have to have $300 million game, Sarge. That's the only way games succeed now. Bloated budgets, right?
That's it.
10 years to make, 3,000 people making a video game. That's the only way you can make a top-notch video game. It
sounds very sustainable.
Except for this company, which 33 people working on a game, very passionate. They know what they're doing. They love what they're doing. Okay. And they got paid up front from Microsoft. We don't know how much, if it's half, 3/4, full price, whatever. But they got paid upfront cost for their game to put on Game Pass, and it gets to be put out on PC, and it gets to be put out on PlayStation, and it's the highest rated game right now. Okay, it's the highest rated game.
So where's the speech that we can't look at this game? We can't expect this from anybody else.
Yeah, well,
when is that speech coming out?
I think didn't Mikey Barra said something like that? Or no, he was talking about
Baldur's Gate through the monkey wrench, and now we got another game doing the same thing. We can't have this. We can't have another game. 33
feels
people
good.
Made a game.
Right. The new Mario Kart game costs as much as 2 copies of Expedition 33. Right. It's right, and then on top of that, Expedition 33 is utterly destroying Square Enix's gaslighting over Final Fantasy turn-based combat. Right. So if you guys missed this article, they're talking about that nobody wants to play turn-based games anymore.
Yeah, that was
No, nobody wants to play Final Fantasy turn-based games anymore because they're tired of the same recipe over and over with the same
turn-based
story.
thing, right?
Yeah, it's the same exact turn-based thing.
Improve turn-based games.
Same thing what happened to Pokemon. Pokemon came out with games. Nintendo came out with Pokemon. It was a shit. Power World comes out and Nintendo's suing Power World.
Right, because Powell did too good of a job.
Because they're scared because they want to do nothing. They want to do the minimal viable product and make money because look, we made Final Fantasy, so give us money for Final Fantasy.
I now allow you to play
That's
the game that we all control.
That's exactly right.
Pokemon. God be with you, my children. We made a little Pokemon game for you. Thank you. Like, no.
Yeah.
Powell
We now
said,
allow
"Fuck
you-
This game's better.
Yeah, we now allow you to purchase our game. It's what Bungie did with the raid jackets, right? They're like, we now allow you because you played the game to pay us $200 extra for a raid jacket.
It's almost like there should be like a minister convincing me that I have to buy the game at full price because God loves me and he wants you to make sure that you're paying the full value of your virtue towards my game. This game deserves your full virtue. You must give full price in order for the game to remain stable.
Look, here's something that people don't talk about. Do you know why all games have to be online, Sarge?
Because they have to control it.
Well, what else do they have to have? Why does your information need to be online at all times?
Well, they're data mining you. They're data mining you. That's the
That's
whole
right.
point. Yeah.
That not only are they getting
point is
$80
data
from
mining.
you, but they're using you to farm your information to send it out. And this is why they need you to have updates and put it online. And they need you to stay focused because they're milking you. Basically, is what they're doing. They're milking you because they're selling your information to other people.
To everybody.
Yeah.
Right. And by the way, kids, in case you didn't know this, every April 1st, the new lists go out to all the cold callers and the phone salespeople. So before April 1st, you should always go online to the national do not call list and make sure you put your cell phone number and your house number in there. And then afterwards, when those numbers call you, I'm not sure if your phones do it. Mine does it. Mine says scam. My phone
Yeah,
says,
it says like potential spam and
if they get through, then basically all you do is just block the number. And my phone's been quiet ever since. But you got to put yourself on the national do not call list. It does help a great deal. If you guys are getting blitzed by calls, that helps out.
Kyle W says when you compare a lot of the gaming prices back in the 1990s and now, it's pretty impressive that they've stayed as low as they are. Some cartridges cost 70 to 80. Sure, Kyle, but you understand.
You had to build the cartridge.
Yeah, the
They had to
cartridge would
build.
be, yeah.
They had to build.
Each one had
they
its
to
own
solder the
motherboard.
chip
Yeah,
in the cartridge. The game is in the cartridge.
Yeah.
Of course, it would cost $70 or $80. Then we're talking about a data transfer now.
yeah, it's digital now, right? So back in the day, they said that digital games would be cheaper, right? They would be cheaper, but they haven't been cheaper, except when Nintendo just did it, because physical will be 90 and digital will be 80. Okay, but you had to build all those cartridges. That's why Nintendo fans that go to conventions that collect, they're looking for the holy grail of collecting all the discs, because a lot of the discs don't exist anymore, and there's only a certain amount of them, or cartridge or whatever, right? So that's why, because there's like 1 of 10 left in the world. This is, hey, we sold out. How? It's digital, right?
Right. How do you sell out of digital?
It's digital.
What
right?
am
Just-
I mental? What's going on?
Yeah,
What do you mean you're out?
So it's not impressive that it stayed this low. Games don't need to be that much. If upper management in these studios are letting the budget go out of control, that's the manager's fault, not the game's fault. You have to know how to manage people. We watched the Laura Fryer video earlier this week, and she even said they're out of control. Upper management doesn't know what they're doing. Okay, they don't want to fire people because they don't know what they're doing. Joe Ziegler, the guy who's now in charge of Marathon, said when he came in, he didn't know what the staff was doing.
How? How do you not know?
Right? Like they're over budget, over bloated. There's so many people working on a game, and they're just hemorrhaging money left and right. Video games and movies should not cost $400 million. Assassin's Creed cost $400 million.
They're balling out, bro. They got the massage tables. They got the craft services. They got the gold silverware. This shit's popping off at the gaming studio, bro. We got to roll with this. You can't just be making a game normal.
Expedition 33's got 33 people. It maybe cost them, I'll give them 50, 60 mil to make the game, not 300 mil. Right? They don't need to sell 7 million copies. They need to sell 2 million copies, if that. And they'll make all their money back and more. And more. All right, let me bring up another, right? So here's a perfect example here, Sarge. Ubisoft, right? Ubisoft accused of secret data collection in single-player games. Why does a single-player game need to be online? Well, it's for the updates. It's for the right.
It's not.
So an
by the way,
Australian
by the
data
way,
protection
it's
agency.
It's not accused. It's a fact. They're being
well, it
sued.
says in the,
They're being
I'm just reading
sued.
the article.
Yeah. They're saying accused, but they're being sued.
Right. Protection against the file complaints against Ubisoft. Okay, alleging that the gaming titan behind the franchise, like Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, is silently collecting data when play single-player games while having no valid legal basis to do so. Well, they do. They want your information because give me. Right? I want everything. I don't only want your money. I want your information so I can make more money off of your information. Okay? The agency known as Noibi is learning the GDRP to tackle what it claims to be unlawful data collection. If the complaint is successful, an enforcement action is taken on the Australian Data Protection Authority and could lead to a $92 million fine for Ubisoft. Okay? So Ubisoft is still watching you. The headline of the article published recently says, Nobi is it lodged a complaint against Ubisoft on the grounds that it's forcing users to connect to the internet to play single-player games, which in turn allows Ubisoft to collect unnecessary data per a recent post. Okay, the company forces its consumers to connect to the internet every time they launch a single-player game, in this case, even if the game doesn't have any online features. This allows Ubisoft to collect people's gaming behavior, amongst other things, and the company collects the data about when they start the game, for how long it also play it, and also when to close it. Okay, even after the complaint is explicitly asked why is it forced to be online, Ubisoft failed to disclose why. Well, when you don't know, if you have a kid, if anyone has a kid, and you ask the kid straight up that you caught them in a lie, their eyes start shifting. They put their hands up by their chest and they're like, I gotta go, and they walk away. Right? That's what Ubisoft just did when they're being, hey, you're stealing data. Why? Gotta go, and they just walk away. What do you think of this, Sarge?
It should be 92 million per charge.
They would just close down.
Not a $92 million fine for doing it. $92 million per infraction. That's what it should be, and that'll stop it. Because if the company can still steal from you and just pay the fine and continue to still steal from you, then the fine's not big enough. The fine has to be a deterrent for you doing it, right? That's how a fine works, right? That's how it's supposed to work. Yeah, the $92 million. What's that? That's nothing.
Right, for them, nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah, they'll just pay it off and still collect your data.
Right. What I think would be better is, and I'm not saying I condone this, but I do believe in the corporate world, an eye for an eye is sometimes necessary. I think piracy is coming to come back in a big way. That's number one.
Sure.
And number two is, I think that the next generation of hackers need to go and get the information for all the people that work at Ubi, including the upper management, and have them put their information out there, right? If they want the information on us, then we should have the information on them. I think it's only fair.
Yeah,
I'd like to know where he goes to eat for lunch. I'd like to know, where he goes to get his car washed. What he hangs out, what bars he likes to go to. If we're going to collect data on people, then I think it should be all around, and then we'll see how fast the data collection stops. Right?
Salty says cosmetics and battle passes were conditioned kids and individuals into it, and now it's expected. Yeah. See, we don't even know the effects of this. Like, we're adults, right? We're adults, but the kids. Like, my son's foaming at the mouth right now for the next season of Fortnite to start, right? Because of Star Wars, and he's a big Star Wars fan. He's waiting for the Battle Pass. What's in the Battle Pass? What's in the Battle Pass, right?
But he's being trained.
That's right.
What I'm talking about?
He's being conditioned. Yeah, he's being conditioned for that, right? So when they're our age, or when they're even in their late teens or early 20s.
They have to have the Battle Pass.
Right, they're paying stuff on the phones. They're downloading the energy. They're paying for the microtransactions. That's what this is. This is the long play. Okay, let's move on to the extraction shooter section of the show, Sarge. Right?
They've been talking. Everyone's talking about this Arc Raiders thing, man.
Well, Arc Raiders
everywhere.
Arc Raiders and Marathon, right? Marathon, right now, if I'm not mistaken, well, earlier today, Paul Tassi put up there was only 542 people playing Marathon, which is
But they really like it.
Yeah, it's a fantastic game. Bungie's got a big hit on their hands here.
They're testing.
Right?
They're testing it.
They have less people interested in this game than Concord, which is pretty interesting. Okay, when you have the biggest streamers in the world playing other games than your brand new game that you're trying to promote in the early access form, you have problems. Okay, now obviously Bungie's very good at graphical stuff. Sorry, Salty, let me take that off.
When they want to be.
Well, no, but what I'm saying is I wouldn't look at what Marathon is right now, because obviously when it comes out, it'll look better. Okay.
Oh, for sure. They have to. There's going to be the rehash comeback story like Bungie always does, and they're going to see if they can convince you to come back because look what we did. It looks so amazing now. You mean they don't look like mannequins from Nordstrom anymore? Is that what you mean? They don't look like the mannequins from Nordstrom? Because if your game has Nordstrom mannequins, I don't want to play it. I'm cool.
So we have Bungie, and they're struggling. And last week we talked about the aim assist, and I had my little theory what I thought about the aim assist. Well, they're taking it out. I'm still sticking with my theory, though. Okay, it says one of the most major talking points amongst the Marathon community has been the mouse magnetism, which has effectively provided aim assist to the players on a mouse and keyboard. Bungie has also been listening. It seems that next week it will experiment during a closed alpha by disabling this function. Okay, look. When you're making a game like this and you're trying to get the casuals and then you're also trying to get the hardcores, you're going to get neither of them because you're bouncing back and forth on who to try to please, and you're not going to please anybody. It says Marathon developer confirmed today that it'll also be patching the Marathon closed alpha next week, which is also several fixes and updates, including disabling the mouse magnetism. Players have led to the ability of manually turning it off already, but with the change, the aim assist settings for mouse and keyboard will be turned off. Here's the thing, though. If it's still an option and people can use it, don't you think people will choose to use it over the people not using it, Sarge? Or am I wrong about this? Chat, chime in with this, right? If you have an option, right? Because look, I'll take Dark Souls for a reason. Right? Remember the difficulty setting, and everyone's like, it doesn't need it. It doesn't need it because people don't want the option in a Dark Souls game. They want to push themselves to try to beat that game. Okay, if you give an option. Obviously, they go, you know what? I'm turning it down because it's too hard, right? They wouldn't push themselves.
So what?
But I know, but this is what I'm saying. So if in this situation, if they're playing a game when it has magnetism where it locks on, do you think more people would use it or not use it? I think more people would use it because they want to be able to compete with the other good shooters out there.
You're once again, you are trying to control skill gap. Okay? Eventually people are going to notice, right? If you're playing a game and all of a sudden you're fucking amazing, you know aimbot is on, right?
Oh, absolutely.
You know how good a player you are. And if all of a sudden you're pulling off miracle shots from across the room, you know aimbot is on, right? Now, do some people care? No, right? But depending on where you sit, if you're playing competitively, which apparently that's all this game is to be competitive, then some people are going to just walk. They're going to just walk away. I have plenty of options for extraction shooters.
Eric Jones says, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying to.
Right.
Wiggle.
Yeah. I think if there's an option, people, they're like, I don't want this in the game. I don't want this in the game. And then they're going to use it and turn it on because when they go up against somebody that's a much better player than them, they're going to get their asses kicked in a non-forgiving extraction shooter. So if you're playing mouse and keyboard, they're going to be like, well, I need to get that extra edge, and I'm going to put that magnetism on, right? I don't know. That's just the way I feel like that's what they're going to do, right? Altern says, I would 100% turn the mouse magnetism. I turn on the visual steps in Fortnite, of course, and I will use that. Exactly. If you have the option to use it, look, gamers are going to find the path of least resistance. Water is going to go to the lowest point and get through, okay? That's what happens with these things. If you put it in front of someone, they're going to use it. Even though, now, if you take it out, guess what? If they really want to use it, they'll go pay for a cheating provider so they can get the magnetism. You see what I'm saying? So
we're gonna have a field day with hackers and cheaters, bro.
Well, when this game comes out, it's going to be
coming.
interesting to see what happens with it.
It's coming. Just in general, because of the price of games and all the stuff that's happening, we're going to get it's going to be an uptick in piracy and cheaters for sure. Absolutely.
Perfect example, John. Perfect example. I turn the graphics down on PC so it's easier to see people. Right. The glitch where there's a whole bunch of bushes because the graphics are so amazing.
Yeah.
People hide in the bush. But
Right,
if
you just
I
turn
turn
down
down
the
my
graphics.
settings, I can see them just laying in the middle of the field because there is no bush anymore.
Right. That's correct.
That's right. So Paul Tassi played Marathon, and he says Marathon should be delayed in the wake of its closed alpha. And in this article, he talks about, because I read this in my morning stream earlier, okay, where he says that this needs at least 6 months, 8 months of more development time. He says it
Sony says no, bro.
of course,
Sony
right?
says they need a game.
So
Sony said now.
look, I
Jump.
take this. I've called this minimal viable product since the first time they brought it up. Okay, and I'll stand by it. Sony needs this game to succeed
Badly.
and if it doesn't succeed, they need to make it look like and feel like it's succeeding, because optics are everything. And if they can make it seem like it's busy and popular, because if someone looks at the Steam charts, they'll be like, well, there's just more people playing on console, right? They can blur the line because Steam is not the only number. Okay.
Right.
So, two, they Sony can't have two back-to-back Concords. They can't.
It's coming, bro.
Even if it is a Concord, they're going to make it pretend that it's not a Concord 2.0. All right, so they're having massive problems here. Now they know when they're coming out, okay? And Borderlands 4 was on the same day last week when we had the show. Well, this week they moved Borderlands 4. Okay, they moved Borderlands 4 up.
Why?
11 days.
Why?
I would assume because Bungie or Sony made the call. Okay, and was like
As a favor.
As
As a favor.
Yeah, as a favor.
favor.
We need this day to be by itself. We can't go up against you in any way,
That's
shape,
correct.
or form.
That's
okay?
correct. A favor. They needed a favor.
Here's where I think.
Now tell me they're not all on the same team, bro.
Well, of course they're all on
Right?
the same team.
Tell me they're not all on the same team. When one company goes there, like, listen, bro, we really need this sale thing. Can you move your day for us?
100%. I believe that.
Can you move your day for us, bro? Can you do that?
Yeah, 100%. I believe that. Right. Then we have. Hold on a second. I'm trying to find the other story. Right. We have EA laying off people.
Marathon, Kyle, that's the problem. Marathon can't be delayed because here's the problem. If they don't get it out, right? If they don't get it out now, they're going to have to wait till next spring because GTA 6 is going to swallow them whole.
It's going to cannibalize a lot of things. If
right?
you're not already established.
GTA 6 is going to swallow the earth.
So I don't have the article, but Arc Raiders, right? Arc Raiders is the other extraction shooter that's coming out. Now, they don't have a date, okay? But a lot of people are liking Arc Raiders a lot better than Marathon, okay? They like the art style better. A lot of people are talking about Arc Raiders. It looks like a Division type of thing. It's more grounded in like a reality. And I said maybe that's why Marathon's doing what they're doing. They're trying to make themselves stand out amongst the other ones, right? But Arc Raiders, I was watching a lot of footage the last couple days, and I asked for a key. I'm gonna try it out off stream. Okay. I'm interested to see what happens because now that Borderlands 4 moved up and Marathon's by itself, and we don't have an Arc Raiders date yet, I want to know if they come out the exact same day as Marathon or a week before. Now, I don't know if Arc Raiders in chat, maybe you can help me out here. Is Arc Raiders going to be a full price, medium price game? Is it going to be $40, $50, or is it free to play? I know at one point it was supposed to be free to play, and I don't know if they're still stuck with that or if they're doing with the $40, $50 thing. If they're doing the $40, $50 thing, going head to head with Marathon around the exact same time, I think more people would pick Arc Raiders. Eric says $40, I believe. Okay, so if they're going head to head with the $40 price tag or $50 price tag, I think Arc Raiders beats out Marathon just because of visuals, because of the sci-fi feeling and the reality-based feeling.
I mean, I'll be honest. Arc Raiders looks good to me, but at the same time, it just looks like it's Division, but outside of a city. You just walk.
Yeah, it's DZ.
It's real life. It's a real life extraction, not like fantasy based or sci-fi based. It's more grounded in reality. I'm sure it'll do well, but once again, it's coming into a market that is saturated with these type of games.
Well, not even these games. It's saturated with the same group. What was it? 60% of the people, 80% of the people are playing 7 games, 8 games, whatever the hell it was. Okay. And now people that are playing Hunt Showdown or Tarkov are established in those realms. I think both these games are going to bomb. I'll be honest with you. I think Marathon and Arc Raiders are going to have a hell of a time. I don't think they're here a year and a half from now. I think they close down. Both of them.
Well, let's be honest though. It's not about engagement. It's about getting your sale numbers, and then they don't care after that. If I need 3 million copies to sell, and they sell 2.5 million copies, it's a wash, and we fucking walk, bro. We go on to the next game, right? You're talking about having people stay in the game and constantly engaging and giving money or for skins or battle passes or whatever it is you're trying to do. I'm talking. Some of these guys are just like, we just want to get paid and be done, and we're moving on, right? I think these games they just want to get paid and move on. You could try to make Marathon into a multi-layer engagement thing where you want people in every day, but I don't think you're going to get it in this climate with all these games out.
There is 8 extraction shooters coming out or just came out, from smaller titles to bigger titles in the last within the next 12 months. There's going to be 10 different extraction shooters plus whatever's on the market right now.
Listen, man, you've got to be special and you got to be memorable, right? If you don't have that, people would just move on to the next thing. But the issue now is, right? The issue now is you have to have people who want to commit to buying that game, right? If your game is $40, you got to have a commitment from someone that wants to give them $40. If you're free to play and you got some shit in the background, you can sell them. Maybe you'll be better, but you still won't get the numbers you need to keep it going.
Right.
Right. I'm more along the lines of these guys are in trouble. They want the money up front and let the chips fall where they may. Right. If it succeeds, it succeeds. We can do some things along the way, but we need that upfront money. Right. And if Game Pass or Sony Play Now, or whatever, is not going to give them the money up front, then they have to get the money up front on their own. You can't release a game that you're unsure about as free to play and hope for the best. That's not going to fly, right? It's not going to fly.
Salty, is this for Arc Raiders or is this for Marathon that you're talking about? El Dente says the problem is that I'm 100 hours into Expedition 33 and I'm addicted. Yeah. And did you pay $50 for that? You play on PC.
But is it repetitive?
Yeah, right. I love when people say it's repetitive.
But is it repetitive?
Right. Well, Sarge, I want to talk about, because we talked about it a little bit in the beginning of the show, but Borderlands 4, right? Borderlands 4 did their...
Are we going to watch it? Are we going to watch it? Or are you going to just talk about it?
We just talk about it. Okay.
Did you watch it?
I did. But did you see it? Yes. Did you see it? Did you watch it? Did you see it?
I have the thing. I want you to talk first because I have the things I want to say, but I think I'm hoping you saw the same thing I did.
I don't know if we're gonna hit. I don't know if we're gonna have the same opinion. I don't know. I think the game overall. I think it looks. Actually, you know what? We could put it up on screen. Let me find it real fast. I'll put it up in the background as we talk about it. Give me 1 second.
First of all, I don't like Randy Pitcher coming out as the first guy I see. There's enough bullshit going on in the world where I don't need to see him anymore. Okay,
I don't want to make fun of someone's look, right?
No. It's what he's done in the past.
Yeah,
I don't want him. I don't want him promoting Dick. I want him out. I want somebody else promoting the goddamn game. I'm tired of looking at you. Right?
Yeah,
and it looks like he hasn't had a good year, by the way, because it looks like he's been drinking a lot. His head got all big. Okay,
Yeah,
his head got big.
He looks like he's under a lot of stress.
Well,
100%.
Well, you would be under stress if you kept doing the stuff that you're doing, the bad choices that you keep making. Yeah.
Yeah. Krebsy says articles said like 2 years ago that Bungie's C-suite would be leaving after Marathon ships. We all know that's 100% going to happen.
100%.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. So, all right. So, looking at graphically, I always say for any kind of sequel or any type of game, or even if you're making, for instance, Expedition 33 looked at Final Fantasy and made it better, right? They saw what they did with that game and made the combat better. They just made things better. When you're a game like Borderlands and you're in the 5th, 6th game in the series with the prequel and the Tiny Tina, the Wonder World, whatever.
But it wasn't all made by them. Was it all made by them? It wasn't all made by them.
What I'm saying is that it's almost the same recipe of what they've upgraded the graphics little by little in the Borderlands series, right? From 1 to 2, 2 to prequel to 4, 3, and 3 to this, right? I think visually it looks crisp, man. It looks really good. Okay. I think I don't like the way I gotta fast forward. Look at him. Okay. The way you're looking, like you look at the gunplay right now, and it looks really slow. Now, I get it. The way they're trying to present it, it could be two things, right? They're slowly showing you because, they like to do the scripted type of stuff and pretend it to be nice and smooth. Second, they might make it smooth that way because they don't want the tearing to happen when they capture the video and stuff like that, right? But it looks slower. And then later when they show the skill tree, there's a lot of perks in there that make you go faster, right? And I've talked about this in the past with Back 4 Blood, Sarge, where in Left 4 Dead, your characters moved fast, right? And then when they made Back 4 Blood, it was the same developers that made Left 4 Dead, but they couldn't use the Left 4 Dead name because Steam owns it or whatever, or Valve owns it. So they made Back 4 Blood, and the characters in Back 4 Blood moved slower than the people in Left 4 Dead. But then they had a card system that made them move faster. So basically, instead of being maxed out at 100 when the game came out, they lowered it down to like 60%, and then you had cards that made it go back up to 100. And the same thing with here. Like in Borderlands 2, Borderlands 3, your movement speed's at like 100. But then when you put the perks and stuff on it, you feel faster. You feel super. So you're not going from 60 to 70. You're going from 100 to 110, 120. Does that make sense? Am I making sense there?
I mean, I think the speed has always been the same. I think in the first game it was kind of slow. They sped it up since then. Right? I'm more interested in knowing that the gameplay is tight. If it's messy, just for the sake of being messy to look for the cool effects, then the one thing that I'll get right into it. The one thing that I noticed right away from all the scenes that they showed me, if I believe the sound is true, all the guns sound like garbage. Right? There was no heftiness, no weightiness to the guns. It was just someone shooting a gun.
See, I thought the sound sounded good. It felt like it had a bit of oomph to it. At least the guns they were shooting.
No, every gun sounded like a little pea shooter, like a little Nothing sounded amazing. No hefty. It was just objects shooting out of a muzzle. It didn't seem like anything else. I like the way it looks. I like the crispness of the cell shade. I forget what the name of this engine is, but I like the way it looks. But at the same time, this has got Destiny vibes written all over it.
It does. It does feel more like Destiny now.
Because the openness of the map, they keep saying it's open world, but we know what they mean by open world. It's not that kind of open world, okay? It's the other kind of open world, right? They showed that map, right? I'm looking at it. I'm like, okay, maybe. Right? Because it looks like they went back to the same original thing where they have the one big guy, they got a female, they got a little nerdy one, like and like the soldier. Like it's the same kind of thing. It's hard.
Same formula. Yeah.
It's hard to make a Vault Hunter after this many games unique and special. Right? That's why they give these guys multiple power lines and multiple power categories to go into for their skill trees in order to make them not so generic. Right? That's the whole point. I mean, I'm looking at it. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe.
I think it. All right. I'm trying to think of some of the decisions they've decided to do with this in this game.
She doesn't like her father. She's rebelling against the world. You can tell by looking at her.
So So they've added like a glide mechanic in the game.
For what reason, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's more of a ploy just to change up things, but I don't feel like it's going to be like this
tell me the difference
amazing.
Tell me the difference between a glide and a 0G jump.
There's no difference.
That's correct.
Zero difference, right? They do some move where she has like a whip and she like a
Grapple.
a grapple. Thank you.
You can only grapple onto certain things, so you have to learn what the grapple things are.
Well, she does a move where she grapples on and moves up in the air and then glides and then shoots and whatnot. But I don't really think this is like game changing. Like, oh my god, like I can glide now, type of thing, right?
They're trying to promote accessibility for movement in the game. That's all. Right? Because all it was before was you running and then driving a car.
Well, and then another thing that they said was they automatically get your own Sparrow, basically, like Destiny in this game now. So you could just have a Sparrow. I don't know if it's called a Sparrow. I'm going to call it a Sparrow. Right? You have a glide bike, whatever they want to call it. Okay. And then you're riding around in the glide bike, okay, to get around faster. Now, I think in Borderlands 3 that we're playing right now through Borderlands 3, the maps are gigantic. Okay, and I think they did that because they made the customization for the vehicles more, where you can customize them and upgrade them and do all this other stuff.
Give you a reason to drive around.
Right, give you a reason to drive around, but really you don't really have a reason to drive around. Why? Because you could fast travel to different points in the thing.
That's correct. So,
right?
if you're giving me fast travel capabilities, then what's the point in driving the car? And then on top of that, the whole game is about the guns. And if I'm in my car, I'm not firing my guns.
Right.
So what am I in the car for?
So it's a little.
You want everything because you don't want to be boring, but the things that you should be concentrating on, those are the things that we should care about, right? Are the guns more unique? Are they more fun to fire with? Is there combinations that we need to new combinations we can look for? Like that's what we're talking about.
Well, then the big thing here is the guns, right? The guns in this game, they have where before I even get to the attachments and stuff. They got rid of the rocket launchers and like the heavy guns, and they put them in a separate category now where
it's a timed heavy.
Yeah, it's like your ultimate ability or whatever, where you can bring it in. Or in Borderlands 3, I'm playing Mo, and she's got a mech, so it's basically like a mech. I'm hitting the RB or LB button, and then all of a sudden I pull out the large weapon and I use that, and now you're not collecting those anymore. It's just the gun that you have. Okay.
All right. Well, okay. So here's my other little negative to it. Like I didn't understand. Once again, they're trying to invent things that are already in the game, and they're trying to separate it to make it look like it's something new. There's a little thing in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen when you're walking around. It's a syringe, and it's meant to heal you or give you some kind of buff or whatever. It's like a temporary use item, right? And so if it's for healing purposes or for buffing purposes, like none of that makes any sense to me because the buffs and any kind of benefits you have were always with the gun that you had and how to proc the ability on the gun to give you the bonuses that you gave. That's it. Right. So if I'm low on shield, the proc on the gun gives me shields back or gives my health back. It's always something. And there have been many times that I've played the game where I'm in a bad situation on a high level where I go down, but I get back up, and I go down and I get back up because my gun's doing enough damage that I can second wind myself. But why are you giving me a syringe that gives me benefits? Like I have to worry about this other thing now too. Like I understand it's just a button, but you're already doing that within the actual mechanics of the weapon. So what does it matter that I have this other apparatus to use? I don't understand why. You're trying to make it more interesting. But you're telling me that it's a more updated game. We have all these options, but the options aren't needed because the core of the game was there already.
Right. So taking the heavy weapons gone, right? And now there's parts of the game, and when I first heard it, because we stop it this morning's stream, I stop it as I go. I saw that you can create different pieces on the guns, and I was like, "Oh, you get to create a weapon."
Don't get excited.
And then 30 seconds later, they're like, "It's all random," and I'm like, "Oh,
like a Destiny gun,
right?" And then I thought about this, and I went, "Wait a minute. If that's the case, Sarge, then I called it a purebred gun, right? So a purebred gun would be the gun, and it has all the same pieces on it as what it is, right? So if you have a Torg weapon,
well, you might not want all the Torg.
I understand that, but what I'm saying, if I find a legendary gun in Borderlands 2 and 3, whatever, the gun's the gun, right? It's from that brand, and that's what it is.
Well, the fire rate and the other stats were different.
Sure.
Because
But
there
you're
were
looking-
there were guns that people were looking for in
Sure.
Borderlands 2 for specific reasons.
I understand that, but now it's going to be astronomically impossible. Okay, hence why they made the game mechanic where you can just run the bosses over and over. You don't have to scum save, as they used to call it. Okay,
You know what?
Where
I don't even think you have to worry about it, bro, because I'm pretty sure someone's going to figure out how to dupe a gun. And once you find the gun that you like, you're going to just dupe it, and you don't have to worry about it.
well, I get it, but what I'm saying is it's false fluff in the game where cool that I get to meal piece a gun and it's random every single time. Okay,
Because
But
you
if
more
you're
reason. Gives you more reason to run the boss. That's it.
yeah, but it's just if it was a 0.1% chance before and that was a full gun as is, now what is it? Right, because now each piece is completely different on the gun.
Well, we don't know. We don't know how many pieces per gun. What the randomization is like that.
We
You
do. They
won't
said
know.
legendaries could be up to 4 pieces.
Yes, but you
Then
don't know
purple could
how
be
many.
3.
But you don't know how many pieces are within that. Like if the gun has 4 pieces to it, how many pieces of each are there? If there's a scope, how many scopes are there? How many muzzles
there'll
are
be
there?
7.
Like,
There'll be 7 of each because 7 of each one because each of the companies would be in that.
Not every company goes to everything. That's the
Well-
way this game is. Certain guns only have certain things. That's the way. That's why the made certain guns unique. Like everything doesn't get everything. Everything doesn't get the TDR spawn thing back. Like only certain guns get the TDR thing.
Look, I think they should add something based on the way their thing works. If it takes, like Altered saying, a 0.00001% chance, let's say I get a Torg weapon and it has a pistol grip on it, I can choose to break down the gun and keep the grip for that weapon, and then farm that
Never
person
gonna happen.
again, and then break down the second weapon and break down the third weapon, then finally make
You said
that
the
piece.
same thing. You said the same thing about Destiny. Never gonna
I
happen.
know. And
Never
I don't
gonna
know
happen.
why they would, because when you have a system like this, you're never ever going to get a
They just want you to have fun. They want you to have fun playing with the boss over and over again. Listen, there's a reason why that they gave you the ability to run the boss over and over again for right away. Instead of having to go back through the level and fight the boss, you just fight the boss over and over again. The
No, I
only
know. It's
reason why
fundamentally why they're making you do that.
The only reason why you would do that is because you want me to go back and farm the boss for the god gun I'm trying to get.
Yeah, but okay, look, Starfield has 1,000 planets. Why?
We haven't.
Okay.
No one's answered the question.
Great. Borderlands has 18 quintillion guns. Why?
But only 100 of them are good. So
Why?
it doesn't matter.
Right. So trying to find the 100 guns of the 18 quintillion is worse, in my opinion, than No Man's Sky 18 quintillion planets, and you're only going to see 6.
The fun is supposed to be you looking at the guns and see what they do. That's the whole point of this game, is to find out the combinations of the guns and the abilities.
Yeah, but if I
make
have
the
no
game fun.
choice to pick my gun pieces, okay, then it's just a random roll every
It's
single
just-
time.
It's just like you getting a gun. It doesn't matter.
But
it
then why make it
doesn't
more
matter.
complicated?
Because it makes you go back to play the game again.
I
Because you're
guarantee
looking for
you-
the damn gun.
I guarantee you, look, the 1% players were going to play the game regardless. If the guns were like this, or the guns were just like Borderlands 2 and 3, okay, more people will look at this and go, I'm out. I'm out. Because there's so many combinations, and you're never going to see it, and you're never going to get the role that you want.
The guys who play this game that way are going to play the game that way.
Sure.
Not
You can go look at the
everybody
numbers
will
right-
play the game that way.
Absolutely right. Go look at the numbers right now on Steam. How many people are playing? Those are the hardcore people. Those are the people that are going to play. Congratulations, you've captured the 0.0001% of the people that will play the game. Everybody else will play the story and go, thanks. I'll see you on the next one.
If you don't give me a reason why to stay into the game, then I don't stay in the game. I'll go up play something else. So if you give me a reason why I keep on farming a boss because I'm looking for a specific set of circumstances on a gun to make it more fun, then that's what this is, right? They told you straight up that it's going to be harder to get legendaries. Great, that's the way it should be. A legendary,
Yeah, no,
should
I'm
be
fine
hard to
with
get,
that.
right? Well. To put the cherry on that cake is the legendary could have possible 4 other items on there that benefit the gun. So I have
but-
more reasons to keep
Okay, so
farming the
let
gun.
me, let me put it this way.
Right, when you farmed
If
a boss
I-
in Borderlands 2, if I farmed Terramorphous and I got the conference call, once I got the conference call, people would go back and find the conference call that had a little bit more fire
Sure.
rate, or a little bit more armor penetration by a percentage or two.
Yeah, but
Like,
at least you knew what was going to drop on the weapon.
But now you know where the guy is, and now you just keep farming him over and over again.
Yeah, but
until
okay.
you find the apparatus you want. It's
Yeah, but
the
I
same.
guarantee you, if I have a legendary conference room, let's say it's in this game, okay, the conference room's in this game, and if you have 2 of the 4 pieces of the weapon that it is, let's say it's Torg, and you have 2, it's like getting a gear set, right? So if you have a 4-piece gear set of that gun, it would be more powerful than if you had a 1-piece or 2-piece set, right?
And lucky for you, I don't have to go through the level again. All I gotta do is keep fighting the boss over and over again.
That
Click,
gets,
click until I get the gun I want.
But
Same
there's so
shit.
many. But there's so many combinations.
And that's why when you find the gun, you'll dupe it.
I
Find
think
the gun. This is not going to be a hard thing. Someone's going to figure out how to dupe, right? Like they always do. And someone's going to figure out how to dupe. And then once you find the gun, you call your friend in. I got the God gun. I come in, I dupe it, I give it to you. Have a nice day. Enjoy your game now. It happens every time with this type of game. It's meant to be fun to play and fight the bosses and find out what gun combination can burn the boss as fast as possible. Right? That's what it is.
I just feel that they've because adding the bits and pieces of the gun, they've made it more. They've turned the dial, like we talked about yesterday, from the left to the right instead of turning it slightly to the middle. They've just turned from the left to the right. They went, we heard you. We were getting legendaries from the vendor yesterday. I got like 16 legendary just yesterday. Okay.
One playthrough. I have my entire bank full of all legendaries, 53 of them. Or something.
I'm full of legendaries in Borderlands 3.
It's ridiculous.
Right? I understand that I want legendaries that when it drops, you're like, oh my God, it's a legendary. But now when I get a legendary, I'm like, oh, I only got one of the 2. And then I swear to God, if it says, if you get two pieces on there, 10% more. I'll be like, you mothers, because you're never gonna get that purebred legendary weapon.
You will. You just keep fighting the same boss over and over again. You will. That's
you
how
hope
it works.
You will. You hope you will.
They already said targeted loot. They're going to be targeted loot. There's targeted loot. I play the same boss over and over again. There's no other reason why you would allow me to play the same boss over and over again at whim without going through the level, unless it was for a reason. So if it's targeted loot and this guy drops these guns,
you would have to know
I'm
the
going to run
loophole,
over
right.
and over again.
Yeah.
Right?
I hope it is.
You play through it the first time on story mode. You find the best guns you can. When you find out the gun that you like, you play that boss again, and then you repeat that boss until you get a better gun. Then you crank up the level to True Vault Hunter mode. Go through the game again. See how your guns drop and see what bosses you want to fight for again. It's the same game, bro. Stories should be good. That's what the guns should be fun, right? Make unique guns that are fun. That's the whole point of the game.
Well, we'll see. Are you interested day one?
Am I day one? Really? You're talking to me.
I
What's the
had to.
What's the
I had
point
to.
for day one? Tell me
I
the
had
reason.
to.
Tell me the
Well,
reason. Day one.
that's the whole point. What's the point of running a guy over and over if you're not going to get the drop after the first 100
I don't
time?
care about day one. I don't care. I'll see you soon. I got plenty of stuff by the time that game, because I'll be playing. Right? Day one, no, don't care. Don't care.
All right, chat. We're gonna go to Q&A. So if you have a question, let me pull it up here. If you have a question, put a Q in front of your question. We'll put them.
Exactly, Krebsy.
We'll
Exactly.
get a bunch of them.
If you were lucky enough to get them, that was one of my favorite guns from that raid.
Oh yeah,
Right.
no
Explosive
look,
payload, Firebringer. Explosive
Listen.
payload was the best.
listen,
Just popping heads.
When I got my
Super
Fatebringer,
fun.
I had that. I still have that clip. When I got my Fatebringer, I woke up. It was 2:00 in the morning. I screamed and said, "Yes, yes!" I was like screaming because I got the gun that I wanted. Okay, but again, the astronomical of that happening compared to what's happening in Borderlands is not even close. Not even close. In Borderlands, there's 18 quintillion or whatever the hell combinations there's going to be. Good luck to you. Good luck to you. They've gone completely from one side of you got legendaries from farting to getting the legendary fine, but getting the legendary that you want is going to be astronomically high. It's completely different.
It doesn't matter if it's astronomical. I could play the same boss over again. If I can burn him down and replay him, I can knock out the boss 10 times, 20 times in 40 minutes. Because I got the guns, I can burn him down. I'm just looking for the gun. That's what people do. Best setup, burn the boss, collect the loot. That's all we did
Well,
before. You got the best guns possible, burn the boss as fast as possible, farm the gun.
That's correct, but there's a difference between what drops on that weapon in the old game and what's going to drop on the game. in the
Don't
new
care.
game.
Don't care. I have a way to get to it faster. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I'm farming for the conference call on the same boss. I've got to kill him 6 times to get the gun to drop, or I get the gun to drop and I'm looking for a specific set of things on the gun. It's the same shit.
No, but like even
shit.
in Division, if I got a piece on my Division gun, whatever it was, and it would be like the attack speed, the buff, whatever, it would be like, oh, the best it could drop is at 0.10, and I got an 8, so I would level it up 2, right? Like that's a system that could fix that. In this, there's no system. It's literally RNG for every single piece.
That's called Destiny.
I guarantee.
That's called Destiny.
No, it's not even close to Destiny because Destiny had Destiny had a set piece that could drop for each of the things.
No, they did not.
Yes,
there were
different.
There were different modifications on guns in the game.
Correct, but there was only like 3, so it would drop one of the 3.
One more is the deal breaker. There was
no,
3
it's
on
not.
That one, it's 4
it's
on this
not
one
more. It's not one more. It's like 30 per thing.
It's not 30 per thing. You don't remember looking at the gun? It
oh
is
my
not.
God. I can't wait for this game to come out and they show what's the stats on these things that drop, because there's gonna be like 10, 12 different ones for each of the scopes, and there's 7 scopes, and each scope would have a different thing. It's gonna be astronomically high, where in the Fatebringer it's like these 3 things can drop on it, these 4 things can drop on it. You're like, oh cool.
It wasn't just 3 things. It was the damage modifier, the range modifier, the damage modifier. There were different things on the gun in Destiny, bro. It wasn't just Destiny's payload. So what's the difference? There's no difference. It's just a modification on the weapon.
No, there is a difference because the modification, there's exponentially more in Borderlands.
Fine. You believe whatever you want.
Okay.
You believe whatever you want. It's like talking to a wall. It doesn't matter how many options on the gun there are. There's still options on the gun. How many options within the gun depends on how many times you're going to look for it. If there was 4 scopes in a Destiny gun and 3 different values on the gun, yes. Now this one has different values too. What's the difference? There's no difference.
Yes, there is, because
you don't know what it is yet. Just because it drops a gun has 4 different aspects on the gun that can be changed doesn't mean every company has a thing on that gun. It's not every gun has everything. It just depends on what they feel like putting on there.
He literally says in the video.
You're assuming every gun has every company.
He literally says in the game when he show about the guns that each of the guns comes with there's 7 different companies and they can piece together on the thing.
There's 7 different companies, but it doesn't mean every company's on every gun. That's in your head. You think that. It doesn't automatically mean that that's the way all the guns are going to be.
If there's 5 things per company for the zoom of the scope, a 0.1, a 0.2, a 0.3, a 0.5, whatever, okay? Then there's 7 companies, okay? And there's astronomical numbers of the roll that could happen. You're never going to get the drop that you're looking for.
You do realize that in the Borderlands gun originally, when you look at the gun, it shows you the little things, fire rate and reload speed and all those kind of things.
And it knows what the fire rate is and the best fire rate.
So those 4 little things inside that box is just like having 4 separate things on their gun. It's the same thing. Those values change depending on when you got the gun, whether they're on 4 different spots on the gun or inside the box with 4 different things listed. It's the same.
Okay.
It's the same.
It's the same, but exponentially a lot more rolls. It's like rolling a 100-side dice.
Depending on how many companies are on each gun. Yes.
Okay. It's literally like rolling a 100-side dice for each of the things.
Like
where before it was rolling like a 6-sided dice.
When I went for Dr. whatever it was, and I went for the Infinity gun, right? I was looking for the highest fire rate possible. There were different things listed on there, but fire rate's the one I went for. So I kept going for the gun over and over again until I got the highest fire rate I could possibly get. Made this gun sound like a chainsaw, right? But the rest of those stats are on there too, right? So you're not going to get 100% on everything unless you keep going forever and try to find it. I'm looking for a specific thing. Those 4 values on the gun is the same as having the 4 things on the gun. It's the same shit. You're looking for specifics for whatever gun you're using. If it's a shotgun, it could be spread and armor penetration. If it's for a rifle, it's for armor penetration and rapid fire. Like, it's the same shit.
So what is the point then if a Tor gun is a Tor gun and it just had the stats on it, and now a Tor gun, all weapons are they're mixed match of different parts? What's the point?
Well, the Tor gun is explosive damage, first of all.
I understand that.
So then, if explosive,
so now
damage,
if
I have a Mali 1 thing attached to a Tor gun, that means I have explosive damage plus the elemental effect.
Correct.
That's what it is.
What's the point of having a regular gun? Why would you want a normal Tor gun? You would always want a mixed match of stuff so you can have the best of everything.
That's correct, but those guns drop rarer. So you're going to be using a shitty gun first until you get the rarer gun to drop. Yes.
Yeah, but okay, never mind. This conversation is going to go on until the game comes out, and then we'll see how the astronomically high it is.
It was astronomically high to begin with.
Well, no, there's a difference between 1 million combinations and 18 quintillion combinations.
Okay.
All right. First question comes from Alturn. Says, question for you in chat. If someone was pointing a gun at you and you have to choose Borderlands 4, Destiny 3, or Division 3, which one would you choose? Well, not seeing Destiny 3 and not seeing Division 3 would be really hard to say I would choose one of those two, because I would just assuming that Destiny 3 is more of Destiny 2 and Division 3 is more of Division 2. And Borderlands 4 we know is different than Borderlands 3, so I would have to pick Borderlands 4 at this moment.
I don't think I could do anything more with Ubisoft. Borderlands 4. There is no such thing as a Destiny 3.
It's marathon. Alternate says, did chat already give a stream a like? I don't know. It doesn't look like it. There's 47 people here and 25 likes. So
press the damn button.
The next one, Alternate says, what's more worth it, Star Wars Outlaws or Star Wars Battle Pass of Fortnite? I would have to say until tomorrow when I see the Battle Pass, I would have to say the Star Wars Battle Pass for Fortnite. I still think Outlaws is still too much at $26, especially since they tried to sell you the same game for $120 just 7 months ago. I mean, it's what, $10? Star Wars Battle Pass is like $10.
I think that I don't think anyone's touching RDR2, probably for any reason at all.
What, Red Dead Redemption 2?
Yeah, I'm looking at the questions on the left.
All right, next
I'm hoping, Water. I'm hoping.
Dupless asks, what's your Waffle House order? I'm a 2 eggs over medium, hash browns crispy, sausage link, and wheat toast. That's my Waffle House order.
Yeah, it's basically the two, whatever the 2 egg special is. I want 2 of everything. 2 egg, 2 bacon, 2 sausage. I get usually pancakes instead of waffle, and then I know it's the Waffle House.
Is pancakes better than waffles?
It depends.
What's the roll stat on that one? Next one question is Altern says, in a world where both Marathon and Arc Raiders cost $40 and you can only choose one, which one would you choose? I think I already said this.
There's only one choice. I only see one game here.
Yeah, Arc Raiders. I would choose Arc Raiders.
I only see one. I don't even know what you're talking about. You're basically telling me to play Arc Raiders for $40 is what I'm saying.
Arc Raiders. I really wish Arc Raiders was still the game it was before, where they had the big giant, bosses in the center and more people were fighting towards it. That reminded me of, remember when they showed Destiny 1 of that first in the I forget what the hell what's that area called?
I've removed it from my brain.
I so did I. The mech. Where they jumped over the wall and there was like 2 teams converging.
Oh, right.
Teams
Jumping over the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
remember that in the trailer where you jumped over the wall and they converged to fight the little walker? That's what Arc Raiders was when they first showed it, and you're going against that boss fight where there's multiple teams going at it, and then now it's nothing like that. Now it's just a extraction shooter, which is kind of disappointing. So let me see if there's anybody. We got Water Bear, Krebsy, Anybody else? Waterbear's got another question. Dolphin's got one. All right. All right. Back to questions. We got Waterbear says, do you feel like consoles are going way of or going away of the blank after upcoming generation?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
The sooner the cloud gaming becomes mainstream and mainstay, and you don't need a piece of hardware, and they convince you don't need a piece of hardware, there won't be any more hardware.
I think there'll always be hardware. Like I always said this in the past. I think it'll be like a record player. I think people that want to buy it, they'll just have to pay a premium price for it, but it'll still be there
like
for people.
$750. Yeah.
Yeah. Krebs says, do you think Red Dead Redemption 2 gets a 60 FPS update before GTA 6? No.
All hands on deck for GTA 6.
Do you think EA canceling the Titanfall extraction shooter would have been another flop? Yes. I think sometimes games being canceled is better than releasing them. Right? Some movies do this, right? Sometimes they release a movie and it bombs the box office, and it should have just kept it on the shelf because it wasn't going to do good anyway.
Do you remember what they did to Titanfall the last time? They sandwiched it between two. They didn't give a shit about it.
Yeah.
They didn't care. If you cared about your title at all, would you have sandwiched it between two games like that? I wouldn't have. I would have waited till the spring.
Yeah, they had to get out before the end of the
year,
man.
Get it out.
Get it out there. Krebsy says, do you think that EA has drove Respawn into the ground? Jedi Survivor wasn't the best. Apex is abandoned, and Titanfall extraction shooters canceled.
Respawn saved EA 3 times.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not sure if they drove them into the ground. I think that Respawn just got tired of saving them.
I kind of agree. I don't think they drove them into the ground. I think Respawn. I think Jedi Fallen Order and Survivor were great games. I think Apex is a good game. The problem is that those types of games, one, the Jedi games are one and done. You beat them, you put them down, and you move on. Apex Legends, there's so many things of competition out there that just because they made Apex Legends to me doesn't mean it's a bad game. It's a good game. It's just there's so many other battle royale games out there, right? And they're competing against Fortnite. They're competing against the Call of Duties of the world. So I think if I was Respawn, I think they should just be a niche. Look, I want Respawn to make Battlefront 3. That's what I want them to do.
Yeah, well, Respawn's job in life is to bring back companies from death. Right? When the company's about to die, someone makes a phone call to Respawn and says, "We're about to die. You need to save us." And they're like, "What do you need?" And they call in the Jesus devs to come in and make up a game that's going to kick ass. That's all they do. That's all they've done so far.
Yeah. Next question. Waterbear says, if GTA 6 drops this September or October, do you think it basically auto-locked for Game of the Year considering all the great titles that have dropped? I don't think... Did a Grand Theft Auto win Game of the Year ever? I don't think it did.
Did Grand Theft Auto win Game of the Year?
I know it's been nominated, but I don't think Grand Theft Auto ever won Game of the Year, did it?
I'll be honest, I don't remember. It might have. I just don't remember when.
Here, let me look it up.
It might have.
Did GTA ever win Game of the Year? The fact that GTA 5 didn't win Game of the Year in 2013. Yeah, I don't think it ever won.
Mo's mad. Apparently, he doesn't like GTA.
Yeah, Mo doesn't like. Yeah. No, GTA has never won. No, GTA has never won. So, obviously, that's not to say that GTA 6 can't win Game of the Year this year. It's just that, I don't know, man. I think this year is going to be a real big competition for the 6 nominations. I don't care who wins. The 6 nominations alone are going to be really tight. There's a lot of good games that came out this year. Assassin's Creed, I know people are saying that's going to get on there. No way it's getting on there. Especially with games like Split Fiction, Expedition 33, Monster Hunter, right? And then the other games down, Blueprints could be up there for like the Balatro of last year. So I don't think it ever gets in there. I don't think it wins. Next one, Krebsy says, did you see that RoboCop game launches July 17th? I did. I also saw pre-sync launches on May 13th, which
Is it
I'm
a
excited
sequel?
about.
Is it a sequel?
It's
Or
a
DLC.
It's a DLC, but it's a standalone DLC.
Standalone DLC.
Yeah,
so
it's
that
not.
makes makes another game, isn't it?
Yeah, you could buy the game by itself, but it's a continuation of the game.
So then it's a sequel.
Not a sequel. It's 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 what it says. It's not a sequel. It continues the same story.
Great.
I'll tell you. That's what they said. I agree. It's a sequel, but they say it's a standalone. It's a standalone game.
Great. A standalone game that continues the story. It's sequel.
Yeah, it's a sequel. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right. Yep. Waterbear says 30. Why is your Waffle House order so weak? Weak? What's weak about it?
Because I still want to see my dick in the shower. That's why.
I don't understand. 2 eggs,
That's why.
hash browns, toast. What do you want me to do? Pound of bacon, 9 eggs. Wait, what do you want? How's that not a? It's breakfast. Next question. Dolphin says, "Can you guys live stream Thanksgiving and this year and let us watch the conversations in real time?"
Oh, you don't want that.
Oh, that's a pay-per-view event.
Yeah, that's definitely pay-per-view.
That's a pay-per-view event. Do you understand how loud our house gets on Thanksgiving?
It's ridiculous.
Over less than what we just talked about for Borderlands things, right? But at the end of the day, Dolphin, none of us are mad or angry. We just kind of just the way this is how we were brought up. This is it. This is like a snooze. We're not even mad or angry in any way, shape, or form. This is just normal volume. All right, next one. Krebsy says with the leak, what's going to do better, Superman or Fantastic Four? Oh my God! Have you heard this leak, Sarge?
God.
Don't say
Bro.
it. Bro, have you heard the leak?
Why can't you just make a Superman movie?
Okay, so you've heard the leak.
without making it some kind of giant fucking
yep.
clusterfuck.
Don't say
Why?
it. I don't want to ruin it for other people, right? I don't want to ruin
Ruin what? It's ruined by itself.
If
Why
people
do
want,
me saying it is going to ruin it?
well, no, I'm just saying if people want to live in the shadows and don't want to ruin it for themselves, let them go watch the movie. That's all I'm saying. But if it's true, now look, I was going to watch this day one, and now I might not watch it at all. Because if people go watch it and then they say that's what happens, then I'm done. And James Gunn's Superman is done. But we'll see.
I don't know. 50 years of comics, 6 movies,
But longer than that.
novels.
Krebsy
short
says, is
stories,
Nexon making
all
the next
kinds of
StarCraft interesting, or are you scared about the microtransactions and shit out of the game? I am. Yeah, go ahead. No, you go.
The problem with StarCraft, okay, and I mean this in a positive way. When StarCraft first came out, it inadvertently became the staple for competitive RTS, period. Right? There were other games that people played RTS competitively, but for some reason, when StarCraft came out, it was huge for competitive. And once they perfected it and came out with StarCraft 2, okay, that was like accidentally the best. The problem is how are you going to take the team that doesn't exist anymore and try to raise the bar on the perfection of the competitive scene for StarCraft, right? Because in your head, what do? Right? Invent new units? That's going to take a lot of balancing. And you know how lazy they are today about balancing. They don't like to balance dick, right? It takes them forever. Now, you could think about making a new faction, right? That would be something that would be interesting. But because of the way the game is and the competitive scene, it's just good what it is. So they can't do anything else to it. They put themselves in a corner. You guys made the game too good. It runs well. We do the updates on the balancing of the units. It's been working fine for a decade. Nobody says a goddamn thing because it's perfect. And I don't mean like perfect, like it's the greatest game of all time. I mean like as far as RTS games goes and the competitive scene, it's perfect.
Yeah.
It works across the board. So how do you make another game?
My problem is I am not interested even if they make the game. If they came out and said this is the the culmination of StarCraft, and we're redoing it. It's the Oblivion.
People are still playing it.
Right. It's Oblivion of its time now. Right. They remaster it. It's an awesome game.
If I go right now, I can watch another finals from Europe somewhere, right? And it's the same 8-10 guys who are the most amazing guys on the planet who play StarCraft.
Yeah,
right now.
Here's what I want to see from StarCraft. I would like to see what Minecraft did with Minecraft Dungeons. And I'm not saying make a looter. What I'm saying is take the brand of StarCraft and use it in a different genre of a game. You see what I'm saying? Like what they do with Warhammer, right? Warhammer's a RTS real-time strategy, or it's a real-time strategy game. It's an action game. It's you know what I'm saying? Like they do different genres with it. I would like to see StarCraft do that instead of making StarCraft.
Well, let's put it this way, right? If I wanted to sell a StarCraft game right now, right, I would make a StarCraft game that looks exactly like Space Marine 2.
That's what I'm saying.
Winner.
Yeah.
Winner.
If you make a StarCraft in the world of StarCraft and make it like a Space Marines, sold. But
Sold.
if you make the next StarCraft, I'm not interested. I'm not interested.
I'm telling you, it's very hard, bro. I know what the rumor was. The rumor is they're bringing back that Ghost game,
Which Ghost game?
the one that they canceled for StarCraft.
Oh, are they?
That's the rumor I heard.
Interesting.
They want another game out, but they don't know what to make, and they can't make an RTS because they painted themselves in a corner, right? How do you make another StarCraft game without the entire competitive scene shitting in your face, right? Because you have to make it to where it's like you gotta dot the I's and cross the T's across the board. You can't just be popping out an RTS StarCraft game now.
Right.
No shot.
Ray says, "Are we ever getting an XCOM 3?"
I thought we had XCOM 3 already.
No, XCOM 4, isn't it?
I think you mean 4, right? Because they just got different names now.
Now I gotta look at.
They don't have a number. They have just different names.
Yeah,
I did
XCOM
laugh,
Enemy Unknown was 3, wasn't it?
I did laugh though. I saw
Or was that 2?
I saw people play XCOM and they're just running through the level. They're not even firing a shot.
I'm confused now. We have XCOM. We have Okay, wait. We have. Hold on.
Of the new ones, not the old ones. Of the new generation.
Yeah, we have XCOM 2, and then XCOM. We have XCOM Enemy Unknown, and then XCOM 2. So there's been 3, but yes, there's only been 2. Like
The number
yeah,
thing.
the numbers. Yeah. Are we gonna get XCOM 3?
Well, no one likes turn-based games, bro.
Yeah.
Throw that shit in the trash.
Yeah.
No one likes turn-based games.
Well, I'll tell you what. I think we do see it.
Darkest Dungeon, trash.
The last one they came out with was what, 2020, which was XCOM Chimera Squad.
Has anybody in chat beaten Darkest Dungeon? Has anybody beaten it?
Darkest Dungeon? No, I haven't beaten it.
I got really upset after losing like 2 of my great teams. After spending maybe 30 or 40 hours into it, I had to stop because I was too mad.
Phrase says, StarCraft VN Date Simulator. Oh yeah, that would be totally worth it. Yeah. I liked XCOM. I liked XCOM. I could see if they could change up that type of game and do sort of like what Expedition 33 is doing with the battle style here. I guess there are games out there like the Star Wars Zero Company coming out, and then Marvel's Midnight Suns. They've kind of evolved over that game a little bit. So if XCOM can come back in and make something a little bit more interesting, I would be interested in it.
I think that the popularity and success of Space Marine 2, I think we're going to see a few more types of genres using that type of engine to do something with. I think that a few games I have in mind in my head, I think would probably use the same type of mechanics that game has. It's done really well. It's almost like Space Marine 2 is like remember those games they used to promote when a system used to come out only for graphical fidelity, but the game sucked overall? Like what was that? 1800 something, and
There was thinking of 1886 is actually pretty good.
Right, there's like these games that
You're
come out
talking
with
like a tech demo.
like they come out
they're
with
a
these
good
games
game,
to make it look like the game's awesome.
Yeah, they're a good game, but they're just
hollow.
They're smaller scale.
Yeah.
Ray says, I believe that 2K is scared of XCOM 3. XCOM 2 already perfect. Yeah, I liked XCOM 2.
Once again, I know you guys hate the word niche in this chat room. I know we get a little argument about the niche games, but XCOM has its audience. I'll say that. Like XCOM has its audience.
What was the game I played?
So it's like it's not that it's a bad game. It's like I really loved XCOM. I played XCOM a lot. I remember playing the original series back on the older PCs, XCOM and XCOM, the underwater one. I played them all the way through. I like the new graphics of the new ones. I played the first two. It's like I have to be in the mood to play it.
What was the one that I used to play?
Automatic.
It was called. Was it called Syndicate?
We talk about this. We talk about this every 6 months, bro. Yes, it's called Syndicate.
Yeah, right.
The guys,
the cyberpunk, the cyberpunk,
the cyber guys that have the trench coats, have the miniguns. Yes.
Sometimes I lose track of what I talked about. COVID. Thanks.
You need to put it. You need to put it in the corner. Stuff.
I'll put a post-it note up on the screen.
Yeah, the stuff I played. No, like a little crawl, like games I've played. just the crawl goes by.
Yeah. All right. Well, besides, I have to go buy a new camera because I'm gonna have to mess.
Did you really fry them both?
Yeah, the
is there a wattage? Are you having a wattage problem?
No,
since you got the new electricity in your house because you
the one camera won't hook back up. I think I have to reset my computer, and the second camera, the cable is short, and I can't reach my computer. So,
all right. So before you start fucking around with it, I just want to make sure because you got your house rewired. Okay, please make sure that
it's
you have
in a battery backup.
Double redundancy. I'm just trying to let
triple
you know.
redundancy.
Okay, cool. Just making sure, bro.
Yeah,
that's it.
No. I got everything.
New fucking wiring in your house. Got to make sure.
It has nothing to do with that. It's literally the camera I've been using for, I don't know, 7-8 years.
Well, don't get it from Temu because they're $1,000 now.
Yeah. How much is my next Logitech camera going to cost? The tariffs.
$1,000.
Tariffs. What am I going to do?
I'm pretty sure you can find a store that sells stuff that's here right now that doesn't cost $1,000.
I know. All right, chat. Episode 4. Is it 439? 439. Oh, holy Christ. This is the first show in May. We got a couple of these. In 2 weeks, my birthday's coming up, Sarge. My birthday.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Is it? Yeah. So that's on a Monday, though. So not on a Thursday. Generation X Gaming, a weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories in the past week, and we rant along the way. We do appreciate you. If you're here, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as low as $5. If you're over on Twitch, you can hit that button to become a follower over there. You can also use your Twitch Prime sub. If you don't watch this live over on Twitch, then you have to watch the past broadcasts over on YouTube channel, 30NSG. So come on over, hit the subscribe button. Or you can listen to us on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, or Anchor.fm. We appreciate you very much. We'll be back on Monday.
We doing Towerborne or no?
Yeah, I'll play some Towerborne with you. We're gonna be back on Monday for the daily grind in the mornings, 10 o'clock in the morning. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for hanging out with us. Peace.
Game on.
Retro meets the now and here. Gaming tales you need to hear. Laugh and shout and sometimes sneer. Memories from all those years. Console wars and secret tips. Tips and tricks from pixel trips. News that pours from gaming sips. Critical minds and candles.